step in their necks, constantly abuse them.
Peace, 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 peace. What's happening with everybody? We are cranking up very shortly, letting those notifications go out. Pay attention to that clock on the left-hand side of the screen. You see it. We're working that clock, family. We're going to be cranking up very, very shortly. Salute to everybody that's tapping in with us right now. Share this thing out. We are live in 7 minutes, family. We are live in another 5 minutes. Keep it live with us. We will be cranking this thing up very, very shortly. Eyes on that clock. We working it out, baby. Share it out. Let them know that we gonna crank it up. The fellas are in the building. We got Let's Talk with my brother Q tapping in. We got my brother Lone Wolf Firearms tapping in shortly. And of course, we got the Honorable Dr. Randy Short tapping in. Another Angry Black Man's Book Club, Pat Talk, number 18. And we're going to be serving it up out of Community Kitchen today. We are live in another 3 minutes, family. Keep it locked with us. Yes, indeed. I see y'all coming on up in here. Make sure if you're in the chat, you're sounding off. We are going to be cranking it up live tonight. It's a good Friday night. We haven't been getting it busy, but we are definitely going to bring it to you the way we bring it to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Glow and a few other folks are down bad, and we're going to touch on it tonight in today's Pat Talk number 18. Make sure y'all share this thing out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I see y'all coming on up in here. Salute to everybody. You know I got to sound off and let the world know who's in the community kitchen shortly. So we definitely going to be getting cranked up in another 2.5 minutes, y'all. Keep it locked with us. Keep it locked with us. We will be cranking up shortly. Got the fellas in here tonight. It's definitely going down. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all been peeping everything. They trying to get at your boy OJ. Won't let him rest in peace the way he needs to. We're going to touch on it a touch. We're going to touch on that a touch because OJ needs to rest in peace and they just won't let him do it. They just won't let him do it. And also you got black looking women smoking that meth and then deleting their children. Ain't this some bullshit? And guess what? They ain't throw the book at her. Y'all gotta make the math for Chef C. And then of course your girl Chloe is looking real crazy out here in the streets. Your girl Glow out there hanging around, spinning and grinning with your president. Y'all love him. You voted for him. And now your black representation looks crazy. We crank up in another 2 minutes, family. Keep it live. Share this thing out. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, family. We are cranking up in another minute or so. Keep it locked with us, family. Keep it locked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. It's one of those shows for you today. You better believe it. It's going down today, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I am your host, Chef C. This is On the Next Podcast. Today's service, as always, ladies and gentlemen, is always going to be cooked up out of the community kitchen. And today's program is brought to you by Bloodline Films from the Soil, Black American docu-series where we travel all around the country, waking up the cultural cuisine and, of course, the Black American grassroots advocates in pursuit of reparative justice. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, right? We got the fellas coming in here today, man, and it's going to be a good one for them. You know, a lot of the sister girls, y'all going to have to hold this L. Guilty until proven guilty as far as Chef C is concerned. And apparently the rest of the world, because OJ was found not guilty when it comes to Nicole Brown, but they couldn't let it go. I know y'all gonna say, maybe this is a little old, Chef, but nah, I'm gonna touch on it because you know what? Listen, the saying is this, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a saying. You are innocent until proven guilty. But in the case of Brother OJ, the nigga is guilty until proven guilty in the eyes of the public and propaganda. And then you got this young lady right here by the name of Dorcia. I forgot how to say this lady's name. Okay. But she out here, she's a whole meth head. A full-blown meth head, family. And she out there smothering her child in between pillows. And they said, you know what? You get to go home free. Nothing to see here. You can go home free. And then America's sweetheart, ladies and gentlemen, is a full-blown fucking ratchet. If you understand what I'm talking about. A full-blown ratchet. This is America's sweetheart. Getting a DUI. Pulled over, pissing her pants. Right? But she talking to your president, right? The Democrats, boy, I tell you, they can't help themselves but roll out a celebrity, right? Roll out these celebrities, these paid for celebs, bought and paid for celebs to be the voice of Black America. Man, we're going to talk about it a little bit here today. I got the brothers tapping in today. Brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Brother Lone Wolf, Juan J. Johnson will be talking today. And he'll be able to shed a little bit of light on this whole DUI, being a retired police officer for 27 years. He'll be able to bring some real context to this. And then, of course, we got our honorable host of this broadcast, Dr. Randy Short, tapping in shortly. So keep it locked with us, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be right back after these commercials. This is On Their Next Podcast, tapping in with the Angry Black Man's Book Club for Pat Talk number 18.
I've been all over the world. I've noticed this about Black Americans, and I'll stop here. We have more people trying to turn us around than I've seen for any other group anywhere in the world relative to what our situation is. That you've got teachers, you got people that will just do stuff. If they find out you're legit, just help you because they want to see Black folks make it. We do have this. This is lacking in other places, I can assure you. But you know what? Our desire to save people cannot be greater than people's desire to be saved and to help. So the people that do not want it, let them go. Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. I sure get it nowadays.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and we are here for the conversation. It has been quite some time. Pat Talk. If you haven't heard about it, now you know. Brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Are you there bright and early, sir? Are you in the building?
Peace. What's going on, Chef C?
Peace.
What's going on, family, man? You know, it's been a while. I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate brothers that's continuously pushing the needle. Appreciate everybody in the chat. It's been a while, and it's imperative that we pick this thing back up. You know, it's weird that all this stuff was going on, and we were going through some technical difficulties,
right?
Busy with time, but things happen for a reason, and sometimes you got to reboot to reboot.
Indeed.
And, you know, all I'm gonna say, pretext to our conversation, OJ was an American hero.
Come on. I'm with it, brother. There we go. Start this. Listen, I didn't even want to go heavy with O right off the top. I didn't want to go heavy with O, but listen, American hero. In the chat, if you disagree with Brother Q, let it be known. Let it be known. But before we even do that, let me go into the chat. See who done checked into the community kitchen right now. Let's see who's in the building. Yes, indeed. I see my sister Choir Scales in the building. As usual, always supporting us, always rocking with us. Let me see what my sister at. Gunshot for sister Choir Scales. You understand? Gunshot for that sister. Let me see who else is in the chat as well. We got the rude one in the building. Brother Nico is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Nico, gunshot for Nico. What it look like, Nico? Good to see you in here, man. Shout out to Brother Nico, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, I got my brother Next Level in the building. Salute to Brother Next Level. Gunshot for Next Level. Indeed. Salute to everybody that's checking in with us on this Friday night. It is one of those conversations. We will have the rest of the fellas tapping in shortly. Let me drop this link. I'm going to get the link in for the rest of the family that's going to come in here. We drop the link right now. Boom. For the conversation. But brother Q, we're talking about an American hero. A hero. You know what? I'm going to go there with you. Fuck it. I was going to hold off on O. I really was. But you know what? It is necessary that we make the math. We got to get some understanding when it comes to OJ. OJ was with well, first and foremost, he definitely was on Black American time. OJ just prioritized his bag. And then he had a little kinking for some white chicks. Okay, it is what it is. Some of these cats, they got the kinkling for a Becky, you know, and sometimes it can have them slip up and just do some things. But ultimately, when you're talking about Colombian neckties, first and foremost, what black, quote unquote, black serial killer ever did some shit like that? Brother Q, help me out. What in our history, in our
Well,
history?
Chef C, I gotta give some background on his case from
Well,
my
let's go there,
perspective.
sir. Go there. Yes, sir.
When OJ was going through his infamous ride, I had been at a point in my life where I was trying to figure some things out. So during his trial, I happened to be in school to be a paralegal,
Mm.
and we had an instructor who, once she, you get through all the law branches and all that stuff, OJ's trial come up, boom. So now she breaks up the class, and we're doing this side is the defense, this side is the prosecution. Um, OJ's trial from the door was tainted.
Come on, come on.
It literally, and people don't understand. Let's say from the media's perspective, because this is black media. Let's look at what they did to the media. The prosecution had a straight pipeline to the media, and when we talk about the media, we have to realize back then there was no cable news.
Right.
CNN, MSN, Fox News, there was no cable news. So this is what OJ's trial bought. It bought cable news. Geraldo used to do shows, but Geraldo really jumped on the scene during OJ's trial. Greta Van Susteren jumped on the scene during OJ's trial. Star Jones jumped on the scene during OJ's trial because it was spicy, it was juicy, it was la la, LA, glitz, glamour, and it was an American hero being charged for killing his white wife.
Mm.
Had nothing to do with Goldman, and we know that Goldman's background in the bar he worked at was shaky, but it was the black man who allegedly killed a white woman who they painted out to be America's darling.
Mm. Come on.
So from that standpoint, Johnny Cochran and his crew, they had an uphill battle. They had an uphill battle because they needed to portray OJ as who he was. He was an American hero. Yes, he was a flawed individual. Nobody's saying OJ didn't have some issues, but OJ was an American hero, but he was a black man. So it was
Right.
a black man being put on trial.
Come on.
Historically, we all understand about Jack Johnson, all the brothers that have been accused. When you deal with them people, you literally need to second guess choosing to deal with them people and understand what comes with that if things go south.
Right. Go there. Go there.
So when you look at the trial, the fake chase, it never was a chase. They never drove over 60 miles per hour.
Come on.
It was a ride. AJ was riding. His man was riding. Al was riding. Had OJ in the car. And you see how they tainted America with the whole stopping the NBA finals. Where were you during the OJ chase? So it made OJ look guilty from the door.
And they needed that. They needed. Listen, every year, media has to carry out a public lynching of a black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's par for the course. Like if cats don't peep that and understand that, you're really behind the ball and you're not in tune with life in general. It's necessary for the public opinion. And shout out to the brother Bunker TV. Say he gets no notice about what's happening here.
Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot of our content is being suppressed. And what I mean is that if Chef C, myself, Dr. Short, or Lone Wolf do a video live, I won't know Chef C went live until 6-7 hours later.
Yeah.
And I intermingle with his page from both of my channels. So we need everybody to continue to support us. Hit that like button, hit the share button. The like should always try to match up with the views. So it's important for everybody to hit the like button and share the content and to engage in the page by commenting. If you don't agree with us, say why you don't agree, your point of view, because this is a a family channel, a channel that we want to encourage engagement, encourage good understanding and discourse of how we view what's going on in the black world.
Right.
So Chef C, so OJ, when I mean OJ and I mean his team, Johnny Cochran, man, his life, the way he practiced law should be studied, because what a lot of people didn't realize is that when OJ hired his dream team, Barry Scheck, at that time, the number one DNA lawyer in the country, so much so that Barry Scheck right now, I think it's the Innocent Project, has gotten brothers home free based off of DNA evidence. F. Lee Bailey, awesome trial lawyer. Awesome trial lawyer. Carl, I can't forget the brother Carl's last name. Carl, awesome trial lawyer. And they were known this way prior to the case. He had a man that sat behind the case who has gotten very famous in the public eye the last 15, 20 years by the name of Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz at that time was considered the number one appeal lawyer in the country.
Come on.
So when people say that he established a dream team, that was no lie. That was nothing short. From a legal standpoint, him and Johnny established some of the great legal minds together in the country. Because everybody couldn't practice see, a lot of times people don't realize that you may have a lawyer that's not licensed in that state. So he'll use somebody else's license to practice law in that state. So they established a hell of a dream team because they needed to basically shift OJ from being on trial with LAPD.
Well, you know what, brother Q, let me back you up, because I got a clip here from one of our scholars, our legal scholar, to be more specific, right? In the game, and by the name of Judge Joe Brown, and he breaks it down very thoroughly, ladies and gentlemen. So let me bring this up, and I'm gonna say fair use. Don't pay attention to the Peterson goofy on the left. Don't pay that hobo no mind. But pay attention to what brother Judge Joe Brown says, how he breaks this shit down, because it can't be denied, man. The mere fact that, I'm like, I said, damn, OJ, you piss one hell of a white man or white people off for them to not let it go for decades. Even after they got a little bullshit lick on you, they still came back around with more shit. So, let's go ahead and play this, because Judge Joe Brown breaks it down something crazy. All right. So let's get with this. And fuck Jesse Lee. He's a little, that's a weirdo. But I want y'all to pay attention to what Judge Joe Brown says. Peep the game. Fair use.
No, Did OJ Simpson get away with murder? No, I looked at all the evidence they had and talked to the experts. They never should have brought the charge against him. And 4 of the chief detectives that were involved in that OJ case wound up doing time in California for planting evidence. And as a matter of fact, if you saw the entire trial, there are several instances where evidence was planted and it's recorded on tape. The main reason the American public thinks she got away with something is because there was a sleaze known as Nancy Grace, who's still around, and that was her first reporting thing. And she hyped that and put a lot of falsity out there, and the American public believed it because that was the only person they were here. Was a stab by a left-handed person. OJ was right-handed. What? It went in and it did that damage. There were no peripheral strikes. The footprints in the blood showed that somebody with a size 9 shoe, 9.5 shoe, and somebody with a size 9 and somebody with a 10.5 were there on the scene and did it. One of my late brothers actually was the expert the state was going to call until he refuted it. The glove man I know personally, the name is Richard Zuckerwar. He took a tracing of everybody's hand. It was a size large glove that fit Furman. And OJ had a 2XL, which was way too big. Johnny Cochran knew that. So if it does not fit, you must acquit. And you can see Furman actually plant the bloody socks on a video that the jury saw that Nancy Grace refused to talk about. The DNA evidence that condemned them, she said, if you saw what went on, and I recorded all of it and looked at it, the expert said, this doesn't exclude 96,000 people in the LA area. And the person that donated this is from the Northeast Mediterranean or from Sicily.
Mediterranean. Niggas is coming from the Mediterranean.
See, and you know, Chef C, and we need to really tap into Judge Joe Brown while he's still amongst us. Great legal mind, and somebody who loves law even to this day. That we sometimes don't understand evidence, and some evidence that gets suppressed, some evidence that doesn't become admissible. Like literally, the evidence proved that OJ didn't do it.
Right.
The evidence also proved that they planted evidence. So much so that even what Judge Joe Brown said, he shouldn't have been charged. And once we get into the other portion of the show, I can explain what happens where a lot of these prosecutors, what they do in America is called overcharging and undercharging.
Come on.
Overcharging comes when particularly Black people or minorities or whatever people want to say, brown people, but I'm going to particularly say Black people because I've noticed it. I've actually helped some people with law work, which in some cases, what they do is they overcharge. As they say, you throw enough stuff against the wall, something going to stick.
That's a fact.
And with that, if they would have continued their investigation instead of charging OJ, they may have found out who actually killed them two people.
Right.
And instead, they jumped the gun. This case, as we notice, and we have to put in perspective, it changed lives. You know how we say, Chef C, we all gonna eat? It's people still eating off of OJ.
That's a fact.
So we got to understand that this case changed lives. Whether he did it or not, or whether he got found not guilty or not, it changed lives. Unfortunately, nobody cared about them two people. LAPD did not care about them two people because they would have as they say, follow the evidence. Instead, they rushed to judgment, had to be a Black man, and it changed. And this is why I said OJ was an American hero. Because prior to this, we have to understand, OJ, when we talk about branding in sports, OJ was the first Black athlete that had their own sneaker.
Go with it.
OJ was all over them daggone car commercials, the rental commercials. OJ was a sideline reporter for NBC.
Right.
Everybody loved the juice. American hero, Lala, USC. He did everything, as we would say, to climb the ladder in white America as a Black man from the projects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So much so that he wound up falling in love or marrying a white woman. So he was, as we would say, the plattable Negro until them two people got killed. Then he became in public enemy number one. And OJ's case changed the domestic violence laws in this country. And what I mean by that is if somebody gets jammed up for domestic violence, you don't go home. You usually stay and have to be in custody for 48 hours for a cool-off period. And they blame OJ for that. So he's changed laws, not intentionally, because I don't think in the evidence proved that OJ did not kill anybody. And when you look at all the way up into the case that he did go to jail for, he got set up for that too.
Come on.
They stole OJ's memorabilia.
Stole his memorabilia, and he was like, listen, I'm coming to get my shit.
All he said was, I'm coming to get my stuff, went in the hotel room, and said, ain't nobody going nowhere. The minute that OJ said, ain't nobody going nowhere, it became a kidnapping, y'all.
They went full Karen on that nigga.
It became a kidnapping. So we got to understand that, as they say, you being petty, these laws are petty. These laws have a very, very fine line of, it's not much gray area in law. Law is very black and white.
Come on.
So when OJ said, y'all ain't going nowhere, basically he didn't have to physically stop them. It became legitimately a kidnapping of them stealing his own stuff.
And you know what? I gotta go to the chat, but that's what it became, brother Q. You was cooking, you was really sauteing real quick. I like that saute because again, we're talking about different types of motives behind, the injustice that brother OJ was facing. And again, for a very long time, a lot of black folks were under this misconception that OJ ain't really fuck with us like that, but he did.
And I want to talk about Chef C, the statement that the brother Bunker T said that everybody knows about when he said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And how that statement has been taken out of context and what happened and who asked him that. A lot of people don't know that Dr. Harry Edwards out in LA, who was a Panther at one time, he's the one, he was trying to recruit OJ to the Panthers.
Right. Well, listen, I mean, but listen, let's not go too far because I got an infamous telephone call. Okay. I got an infamous telephone call that I want to play for the family in here. But before we do that, let me go to the chat because I think I saw one of the family members in here, and I definitely want to get some of y'all. I got hella comments coming in from y'all in the chat, so I want to read some of y'all thoughts off up in here. But salute first and foremost to my sister Star. Gunshot for Sister Star in the building. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in here with us. I see that y'all cooking that chat up right now. Shout out to the brother Bunker TV. Salute the brother Bunker TV. Gunshot for Bunker. I see you working that. Bunker ain't here to play with niggas, man. He not here to play with folks. Let me see. I think the brother Jay in the building too. Let me salute the brother Jay. Jay is in the building as well. Let me see to that brother. Hold on. My joint is wilding out. Yeah, we got brother Jay Jizzle, R Jizzle in the building. Salute to you, R Jizz. Peace to you. Huh? But yes, indeed, we are talking about a situation where, a lot of this stuff, and shout out to the brother Bunker TV again with this one right here. Let me read what Bunker TV said. Our misdemeanors become felonies, and their felonies become fines and violations. That's a fact. See, they throw the book at us while throwing the motherfucking throwing the brochure at them.
I know that a lot of us think that is a blatant act. Because sometimes it appears to be blatant, but it's very subtle.
Come on.
And, I don't want to wait. Just, you guys in the chat, just bear with me and Chef C. Because when we get to the young lady and what she was charged with, I can explain it better and what the judge said. And we always got to remember the prosecution holds the key.
Come on.
Because of how they charge, what they choose to charge with, the language in the charge, the charging indictment. And what happens is, for example, for context, I'm going to get to it. The young lady was not charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Don't go there, Yaku. Don't go there. Let's slow.
Yeah, it's very important that we understand this. So OJ, you guys was guilty of
being a nigga.
being a black man in America.
Okay. And then having the nerve to go ahead and gather what a lot of those pale-faced boys would think at the time as a sexy woman.
Yeah.
This is no different than our brother Jackson.
It's funny because what happens in Black America is we need to learn from others' mistakes as well as our own. We need to understand who we are and how to move. Like I always say, men move accordingly. Black men need to move accordingly. You need to understand that if you get caught out of pocket, they're going to finish you. It's been a lot of us finished because of this stuff, because of not understanding of where you're at, what circumstances. And I'm not saying that OJ put himself in a bad situation, because honestly, if you understand his situation, he was basically trying to get out of that marriage.
Come on.
And they happened to get killed.
See,
and
that's
then he,
right. I don't
he
mean
became public enemy number one.
Right. Come on, man.
So his connection to her as an ex has always been, no, you always affiliated with her. Y'all know, y'all watch crime TV or First 48. The first person after a murder is they look at the families.
Come on.
They look at, what they call it. When you commit a crime, they call it motive, means, and opportunity. They know that OJ was on that damn plane during the time of that murder.
Come on, man. Come on.
They know that. So they, had a, as they say, a janky trial presented against lawyers that they should have never tried to get it over with. Like, I'll be honest with y'all. He knew he was smart. Like I'll reiterate, him and Johnny was smart with establishing a team of lawyers. And they was proven, and at that time and continuous day, you ask the brothers out in California, LAPD has always been corrupt.
Facts. Come on. Facts.
Just think about it, you guys. And I use something so basic in this case that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. You draw OJ's blood and you don't take it to the lab, you take it to the crime scene.
Right. Well, listen, brother Q, the thing is like, well, first and foremost, especially now with the advancements of technology and all this other shit, motherfuckers can walk that can never walk, do all type of shit now. And, the only thing that they seem to bring back up is old trials of a fucking white woman claiming that a nigga did something to her. Right. And then retrying that dude over again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time they productively use these propaganda machines in order to tear down. But we got the, listen, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we got the Honorable Dr. Randy Short tapping in right now, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to buy the young man a little bit of time as he was coming in, getting his things together. Salute to our brother and our honorable host, Dr. Randy Short, ladies and gentlemen. He's
Dr. Short.
Hey, how is everybody? How is everybody? It's been a long time. Wow.
I'm feeling white.
Okay, well, you should. In fact, everybody should. In fact, if you don't feel white, that's part of the problem.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, brother Dr. Short. I did a little play on this title here. Guilty until proven guilty. I wanted to play on this because, again, even until this man's grave, there are still Negroes and Negresses and bunch of pale faces and small eyes running around here still saying that OJ got that white girl out the way. They won't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
However, when we fast forward here in the case of this young lady under the bottom of OJ, they found a reason to let her go after she smothered this 2-month-old child.
Well,
Because
but
she decided to use drugs.
the child was a black child. Black women will always be rewarded for killing black children. The whole presidential campaign is to get black women to kill black children. That is the the campaign promise to black women, that they can kill black children. Go figure.
Right. Right. And this
I
is
mean, that should be so disgusting, but it isn't. And there should be some outcry, but there will not be. There will not be. So
Corporal Omni has seized everything.
killing black children and black women being antisocial enemies of black people is where they want black women to be. And black women, for many of them, have stepped up to it. In fact, the woman running for the Senate in the DC area, in Maryland, her main campaign is I've seen her one thing is she's talking about how she's going to fight for abortion, not jobs, not housing, but to kill babies. And she said it's personal. No, the contradiction in that is that this woman, Angela Ostelbrooks, I'm not picking, but it's alleged that her baby comes from the former county executive whose job she got later. She had a baby out of wedlock for this dude. Are you understanding me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I am understanding.
But yet she's pro-abortion. Go figure. I mean, but part of how you cemented a deal to be in the political system is you had a baby for an important man that was Omega Psi-Phi. I'm just saying, I'm not picking on anyone. She's an attractive lady. I guess she's been all right as county executive. But everybody's talking about abortion. In fact, the reason she's saying abortion so much is the way you get funded to be a black woman candidate for office is to get that Emily's List money. You're for killing babies. Murdering black children is the way to power. So, and it's very Luciferian. And I'm saying it, I don't care who doesn't like it. Killing black babies, abortion is murder. A lot of black women are crazy and out of order and get breast cancer, everything because they murder children. Okay. You're as big a murder as a guy that does a drive-by shooting. The only difference is the street that the car drove down is your womb. Your womb is the OK Corral for the unborn. It's not cool. It's ugly. It's deadly. And it's not right. It's wrong. It's murder.
Well,
and a huge number of black women are baby killers. That's the biggest problem we have. And by the way, we have nothing to show for murdering maybe 20 million black children. That's part of why we're being overrun by all these illegals and everybody else. And it's not health care. It's interesting how black women are out here running for high office, right? Running for high office. And they can talk about killing babies, but they can't fight for black women who are dying in childbirth, or a black child being 3 times more likely to die in the care of white physicians and medical staff, and in the hands of black physicians and medical staff. Are you understanding me?
indeed.
How does that? How come that can't be something that people fight for? How come that isn't something? Tell me how in the hell is that not a concern? Why isn't that a concern? How does killing a baby become the only thing that a black female politician has to offer her constituency is, I know what it's like and I'm gonna help you kill that baby if you need to. I know how you feel. That's disgusting. And frankly, most black women running for office that are on this abortion thing are disgusting. And by the way, which Pat Talk is this? Is this 16 or is it 17 or is it 18?
This is 18, brother.
Yeah.
Dr. Short, number 18. Yeah, we're running those numbers up, but it's good. It's good to hit number 18. That's for sure. Pat Talk.
That's okay. We haven't done this like we're supposed to. And, I'm not mad at you. Every imaginable thing, I just tell people, I apologize for all these absences, but between getting sick, even tonight, man, you get family shit, people at the door, everything. People have no idea how hard it is to get things to line up when you want to do something. You know what I'm saying? When you want to do something, that's when everything goes wrong. Right. That's when everybody's at your door. You got to get something. It's a family thing. Somebody's got a blood pressure problem. It's always something. Come on, guys. It's every imaginable thing goes wrong just at that. And so that's why. So I'm going live on a couple of channels. This is going to be one of my less watched programs, but that's okay. We have to get back into that. I haven't done it. So pardon me. I was exposed to Vax Negroes on Palm Sunday, and then my mother hanging around Vax Negroes got me sick, and I'm just about beat the hell out of the cold that thing gave me. So bear with me. And so yeah, let me get myself on camera here. All right. Okay, so all is well. So yeah, but back to this OJ thing and abortion thing. These people are phony. People phony.
Well, let me do this, brother Dr. Short. I got this clip from this recording. I think it's necessary that we play. Salute to the 38 plus that's climbing in here with us right now. Salute to y'all tapped in on this Friday night. But I got a clip, one of the old OJ clips that people kind of like brushed under the table here. So I want to play this for y'all just so we can get some understanding. Bring a little context.
Green. He's 911 emergency. Can you get someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? What does he look like? He's OJ Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove us again.
He just drove me over? Okay, wait a minute. What kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco. But first of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute. What's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. We're sending the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
He's going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way or is he just harassing you?
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to come in again.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit out of me.
Wait a minute. Just stay on the line so we can know what's going on until the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole?
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. Does he have any weapons?
I don't know.
Okay.
He went home. Now he's back. My kids are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want anything to happen.
Okay. Has he hit you today or no?
No.
Okay, you don't need any paramedics or anything? Okay, you just want him to leave.
My door. He broke the whole back door in.
And then he left and he came back?
And he came and he practically knocked my upstairs door down, but he pounded it, and then he screamed and hollered, and I tried to get him out of the bedroom because the kids were sleeping in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he wanted somebody's phone number, and I gave him my phone book and put my phone book down to write down the phone number that he wanted, and then he took my phone book with all my stuff in it.
The dispatch.
What?
What does he say? Units, your domestic violence at 30 Cricket 321 South Griffin Greenway is too high. The suspect is now entered in the jail. And it is refusing the lead. Go to high incident 4221 RD 825 children. Just stay on the line, okay? Is he upset with something that you did?
Oh, a long time ago, it always comes back.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the infamous telephone call, right? That's the infamous telephone call. Fair use. Salute to my sister DW tapping in right now. Gunshot for DW, ladies and gentlemen. Gunshot. Now, that's the infamous call, yeah, that led to a bunch of other events that took place that night. Okay. But you saw how quick she played Karen. She played Karen. OJ, is my understanding. Listen, OJ, the brother wasn't even really there. He got upset and he kind of rolled off after that.
Okay, I have a concern because this thing happened 30 years ago.
Right.
And people forget a lot of things 30 years later when it comes to OJ Simpson.
Come on.
There are a lot of things people don't remember. First and foremost, let me start off by saying I was never an OJ Simpson fan. I always couldn't stand OJ. And if I introduce you to one of my very, very best friends, I called him in 1990. And I told him that OJ Simpson, there was a picture. OJ Simpson is in a Jet magazine from either 89 or 90. It's a photo of the week. And he's literally almost pulling Nicole Simpson by her arm like a cat dragging a mouse that's caught. I didn't buy the Jet magazine, but I was disgusted. And back then we didn't have cell phones. I remember being so angry, I couldn't wait until I got home to get on my phone and call my friend in Oakland, California, and say, you know what? OJ Simpson has ditched his black wife, who was good to him, who was with him when he was a broke college athlete. And he's got some young white girl, possibly low income type. And I says, it's not going to go well. She's going to end up dead in a few years. I hope he doesn't do it, although he might. I said this in 1989 or 90. I think it's 90. And I says, just keep your eyes on OJ. This isn't going to work out well. I forgot about it. Segue to 30 years ago, the summer or thereabout. I get a call from California, same person. And he's screaming, you were right. You were right. He says, what are you talking about? OJ. And my response is F OJ. You know, I can't stand him. I'm a cool idiot. And he says, no, OJ, he's killed his wife. Just like you said he might. And I says, come on, man. I said that. I forgot. He says, yeah, you called me 4 years ago, and you told me OJ's gonna kill his wife. Now he's a suspect for killing his wife, and he's in his white Bronco. Turn on your TV. So I turn on the TV and I see OJ in the Bronco. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. My first thing was this self-hating, jealous Negro murders this young white girl that he cheated with probably on his wife. And it didn't work out. His money, whatever, she got bored with him, or he wasn't freaky or whatever it is. And so my initial thing is OJ did it. Again, I walked into this with the bias that I couldn't stand OJ Simpson. How about that? I can't stand OJ Simpson. I never liked OJ, period. So my first thing is OJ did it. Bastard. But this is 1994. The trial took place in 1995. In 1995, I was working for the NewsHour with Jim Lehrer, or PBS NewsHour, right? And because of that, you watch court TV, I watched the whole damn trial, all the stuff over and over and over and over again. And because of that, I have a very strong memory of what happened. One of the things why OJ did what he did on this specific tape, if you hear OJ yelling, what OJ is yelling about is that Nicole was having sex in front of the children and using drugs.
Mm.
That's what set OJ Simpson off.
Oh no.
So the media, I get it. Yes, he knocked the door in and all of that. Wrong. But if I'm paying, you're living in a mansion, I'm giving you all this money, and you've got children, my children as well, and you're having sex and doing drugs with adults in front of my children, that just might make somebody angry. And no one says it like I just said it. The white wife he had was screwing adults in front of minor children. That's child abuse. It's exposing the children potentially to molestation. That's what Nicole Simpson was doing. Remember what I said. I came into this with a I hate OJ mindset. OJ did it. OJ's nothing. OJ dogged out his black wife. F him. Okay, that's how I was looking at it. But as I watched the doggone trial, as much as I could, I still can't stand OJ. I ended up saying, she's a wild freak too. So you need to understand what's called the Brentwood hospitality greeting, where when a male would spend the night in her home, he would wake up to Nicole Simpson sucking his penis. Not just OJ, and I'm not trying to just, I need to remind people that Nicole Simpson, while she's living off of OJ and her family's living off of OJ, is going through hundreds of thousands of dollars in cocaine.
Oh no.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cocaine. And having all kinds of parties and all, as they do. And Nicole Simpson is having lesbian relationships with Faye Resnick. This is something I need to say, and I don't care how people take it. A big part of this OJ Simpson thing, why they're giving OJ Simpson, who I can't stand, such a horrible review, is to hide something in clear view that nobody's willing to say. First, let's be clear. Kato Kaelin, the soft porn star that lived in OJ Simpson's house, is Jewish. Faye Resnick, in a mafia-aligned, crooked Jewish family, the Resnicks, is Jewish. Ron Goldman, the alleged callboy, male prostitute, gigolo, who was killed with Nicole Simpson, Jewish. And many other people in this thing are in this ethnic group. Please don't blame me. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm only telling you that you have a multiplicity of people from a specific ethnic group in here. And there's dirt. Faye Resnick, the lesbian lover of Nicole Simpson, ran up in a matter of a few months $500,000 in cocaine debt. They snorted that much cocaine that she bought. I don't know how much Nicole did. That's $500,000. What is it, about $750,000 to $1 million worth of cocaine in today's money, if not $1.5 million that she snorted up.
Oh no!
And having sex parties and doing all of that. Now, if you, I live in DC, a city full of drug addicts. We have like the highest rate of opioid deaths for blacks in the country. My parents worked in drug rehab. I've been drugs everywhere. I live in a neighborhood that's transitioning to gentrified. Used to be when it was like Fort Apache for DC. Okay. Dope everywhere. And I'm saying to you, if you owed someone as little as $20 for drugs and you had not paid, you could get yourself hurt. If I owed people hundreds of thousands of dollars for cocaine and other drugs that I did not pay, if OJ cut off paying for her dope money, then it's reasonable to believe that someone would put a hit to get their drug money. Why did Faye Resnick flee? And she could go safely to where her family, and by the way, it's believed that someone connected to Faye Resnick was a person that was helping to get drugs for Joe Louis. Just saying. Alleged. The Resnicks are a mafia family. No one's ever mentioned this. It just never, ever, ever come. How come they didn't get Faye Resnick? How come they just got Nicole? Why hasn't anyone talked about they've never shown pictures of how the woman was killed. Why is it that there's a way that people ritually murder people that you've never had a Black American that's committed a murder slice Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson like they got sliced? Okay, say OJ's a suspect, but why were these people slaughtered in a way that's almost ritualistic? And if OJ was a murderer, okay, you mean all of a sudden this one time he does this ritual murder on two people? I'm not trying to make him innocent. There's another thing I need to remind people. That Bronco that he was riding in, the police impounded. Do you mean to tell me when they arrested OJ and they took his Bronco that the blood that's on the dashboard, they didn't see the blood? It would have been fresh. Why didn't they see the blood? And that's something I would have noticed. I got you out of the car. I would have been looking. You know, people would check a car for evidence. Weren't they looking? You mean you left an unguarded car on the police lot, but you didn't check for evidence of homicide with that much blood? They didn't search the car?
Come on.
I mean, that blood wasn't, it's interesting, there's just blood on the dash, but have you seen the pictures on Brentwood? There's blood all over the ground.
Right.
How did OJ not have track blood into the vehicle?
Let him cook.
It should have been there. Like I said, I came into this thing saying, I hate OJ. Yeah, he did it. I don't care if he's Black. And the more I watched, I says, damn, I've got to be on this bastard's side. Oh, I was so angry that I was hoping they'd get him. but they didn't have a case. Because I'm saying to me, you mean there's just drops of blood on the dashboard? It's just small drops. It should have been not this. You know, when you have small drops, it meant that you had almost something like a test tube or something that could let drops out. Blood is messy.
Come on. And
you get convenient drops. It's almost like you had a dropper and you did it with something that's precision to get almost replica sized drops. Wow. And let's go better. What was in the blood drops and the smeared blood and all in the Bronco? Blood preservative that only law enforcement and intelligence agencies have. No human being could exist with that toxic substance in their blood. So you found blood, but it's blood that had the blood preservative that obviously law enforcement put in it, which means that the blood evidence and the DNA and all of that, you took OJ's blood. He agreed to let you have his blood. You put blood preservative in it, and then you took his blood and dripped it in his house and in his car. Okay, that's what you did. You had his shoes. You took his shoes when you arrested, and now his shoes have some blood on it. But shouldn't those Ferragamo shoes prints been in the car? Shouldn't have been some blood prints when he went over the back wall? But there's just all the things for the story that the police, that this racist Mark Furman, at least make it fit. You can frame someone, but they did a very sloppy job.
Right. Come on.
They had and we've had an epidemic of forensic scientists who've been Asian, who fraudulently manufactured data in particular to indict blacks all over the country. The one that cooked it to get OJ was embarrassed by a very gifted Jewish attorney that made a fool. I think his name was Fung, the Chinese guy, made him look like a goddamn fool. The real thing, the main thing that linked OJ to the crime was the blood preservative rich blood. And that's what they didn't say over the news. That blood, he couldn't have existed. Where did he get the blood? Did he inject himself with the blood preservative when he was in the Bronco? So I'm sorry for all the little stupid racists out there who hate so much until they think that black people walk around with police blood preservative chemicals in their blood because we're an inferior species. Good luck with your ignorant fantasies. No one can exist with blood preservative in their bloodstream. It would kill them. OJ Simpson wouldn't have been healthy enough to kill Ron Goldman or Nicole Simpson. And so the case solved. The trial should have been thrown out.
Right.
But it wasn't thrown out because there was a desire to do something, and a lot has been done with the trial. I'm just saying with the blood itself, the glove didn't fit, all this other kind of stuff. Man, there were things that Judge Lance Ito, the Japanese judge who's married to the white woman, was trying to prove himself, all kinds of stuff that he did to try to help. They never had a case. A brutal murder took place. OJ Simpson had hit Nicole Simpson. But let's just remember, if you walk into your house and you find your ex screwing a man doing drugs in front of your kids, that might make somebody mad, especially if you're paying all kinds of money to take care of this woman and you think she's going to be a mother to your kids. I want to ask anybody listening, if you were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in alimony to a former spouse, and they had custody of the kids, and they were openly having sex in front of adults and using drugs, and when you caught them, they came and mouthed off at you and you slapped the shit out of them. To me, that's almost tame. Not that I want anybody hitting anybody. I'm just thinking I could probably lose it. Because if that's what's going on when you walk in, what do you let these people do? If you've passed out on coke, what might they do to your children?
Come on.
Right? You're there for sex. They're high too. Just sit down and think about that. So as I said, I'm not an OJ Simpson fan. Never was. Always couldn't stand him. But I watched the trial. I looked at Mark Fuhrman, looked at how they did everything they could to hide the Mark Fuhrman information. And it got out. It's just, I mean, you have a person that goes around and just declares their hatred and their desire to destroy Black people. And he's the star witness with all this evidence. And you've got Van Adder, remember Detective Van Adder, who goes to OJ Simpson's house with vials of blood that he's stolen from the police department. He had no authority to take OJ Simpson's blood out of wherever it was being safe kept. And he shows up at OJ's house to talk to him with OJ Simpson's blood in his pocket. And the blood that's found in OJ Simpson's rug, the little drops, it too has blood preservative. Well, how did blood with blood preservative get in the Bronco that was in the police custody? How did OJ Simpson's blood miraculously get discovered after Van Adder, with the blood preservative in it, get found in OJ Simpson's house only after Van Adder went to visit? Why did they need to check his house again if they already checked before? Something like blood and dogs, they should have caught it the first time around, like they should have found it in the Bronco. But even had they found it, it has blood preservative in it. There's a direct link between the blood that the police collected and Van Adder and OJ Simpson's house. Come on, people! It's 30 years later. I was thinking, y'all don't have a case. You took the evidence room blood to the man's house, even if he didn't leave a drop. That's some real sick, macabre stuff. You hate that much? I mean, you're that zealous about your job, you're walking around with another man's blood that you're not supposed to have, that you had no right to have. You violated laws and policies within the law enforcement agency for which you draw a check. How is he credible? Why wasn't he prosecuted? Why wasn't Mark Fuhrman prosecuted when they found out all this racial stuff that he was saying and what he wanted to do? And why weren't people that were the victims of Mark Fuhrman brought into court to testify about his history of brutality in the community? Which could be a real motive to say that this guy's a racist. If you hate that much, and he's with a white woman too, and that's a big obsession with racist people, interracial relationships and marriage, and OJ had a reputation for beating on this woman, right? So it's a black man beating a pure white woman with blonde hair. why wouldn't a white supremacist, as a champion of his people, not want to take this gorilla subhuman ape down? I get it. And nobody was talking like me on television back then. So we're not dealing with it. Marcia Clark, a 3-time loser. She lost practically every major case that she got. And they lost this one. And in reality, the people, they didn't really have a case. And OJ Simpson, clearly, if you're still visiting your ex and you're jealous, it's OJ still had feelings for his white woman. If he got upset that she had boyfriends, that's not necessarily the love that kills. That's like the love that maybe we could get back together. Somebody's writing a note. It was all over drugs. I agree. Nicole Simpson, Ronald Goldman owed money to a drug cartel. The Colombian drug, the executions of these people resemble the Colombian executions. This is correct. And it's correct. OJ would not pay the dope tab for Nicole and Goldman. They know this, but you have to understand, by exonerating OJ Simpson, you implicate Hollywood and Las Vegas decadent GCPs. Marcia Bynum, I've said it, if you're listening, listen. The police department uses blood preservative in their labs. Okay, we don't have to be geniuses. Human beings' bodies don't produce blood preservative, which means someone has to create the chemicals and things to preserve blood. They add that to maintain the blood so they can use it as evidence. The blood preservative came from the Los Angeles Police Department. They never had a case. They did not want to go after the mafia. And it's just as sure, if you've been looking at the news this week, the Los Angeles Police Department is totally infiltrated by Latin American gangsters.
Come on.
So it's completely corrupted. It's even more so now than what it was 30 years ago. The Los Angeles Police Department was full of Nazis and white supremacists. If you remember that there was a Mayor Yorty, if I'm correct, for Los Angeles, and Daryl Gates, these people deliberately recruited white supremacists to be on the law enforcement of California. Let us remember 59 years ago, after the Watts Rebellion, look the ingredient up. It's 30 years, Marcia. I don't remember 30 years later the name of it. You'll find it. Everybody's got Google. Just look. Don't expect me to know everything, but I'm right. I'm absolutely clear that I'm right, and I'm not going to try to find it now. The blood preservative is there. It's EDA, something like that. Whatever it is, I don't remember. I don't want to get it wrong. Someone look it up and put it up there and post it. So let me go back and say that with the Watts riot, what came out of that? Los Angeles led the way with the Special Weapons and Tactics, SWAT. SWAT was put up to have urban warfare against blacks or others. So Los Angeles is on the spear tip of forming urban warfare against blacks and others. And the brutality of the Los Angeles Police Department has been documented all the way back to the Zoot Suit riots. And there's even a jazz song called, I think it's called Central Avenue Breakdown. And it's a song talking about the police killing blacks in Los Angeles. Now, that's just what it is. And we also know back when OJ Simpson went through this thing, Los Angeles was literally going broke, paying out legal settlements for killing and beating and brutalizing people, not just blacks. They were beating up the Samoans, beating up Latinos, just beating up everybody. I think one of the chiefs of police back then was Bratton, who was in New York. These people literally used the police as a force of terror and intimidation. There is a very good documentary called Fire This Time, and you should look it up. Rhino made the film. I don't have a copy, but it's known that the Los Angeles police would begin literally attacking Black male children as early as the age of 5. When you have that kind of history, you're not credible. When your city's going broke because you have to keep paying because the police keep shooting and beating. There was one case where the police went and beat up a whole family of people that was Samoan at a wedding. Go to the wrong house and beat up people, knock at the door, beat the wrong people, half kill people, and it's the wrong house. And get mad that people don't want to get beaten half to death because you kicked in the wrong door. OJ Simpson, so the people in that jury, what they were really angry about is that nobody believed the lie of the police. It's too bad people weren't thinking when it came to COVID, Obama, or Biden. There are a lot of things. The public has become a lot dumber in the last 30 years.
Well, let me spin it like this then, brother Dr. Short. And you know what? Salute to that cook up. That's a solid cook up. Gave us a lot to consider there. You know, and I want to go to my brother Q. Q. Brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Sir. That those findings, first and foremost, that brother Dr. Short laid out. You know, let's touch on that a bit. The Bronco, the forensic files, things like that. You know,
and this, you know, it's a point Dr. Short eloquently put, and I'm glad that he's here. And this is always his show and your creation. And sometimes, like he said, sometimes we may forget details, but the key component to what Dr. Short was saying was at that time, Barry Scheck was doing his job.
Yes, he's the one that made Fung look like a fool over the
People need to understand that Barry Scheck is the #1 DNA trial attorney in the country back then. Like I said, if you look him up, you Google Barry Scheck, Innocence Project, I think that's the name of his group. They've been getting countless brothers home from jail for DNA. So this case propelled him, but even back then for legal minds, they knew who he was. And he understands DNA from a law standpoint probably better than anybody.
Right.
And it proved, like Dr. Short said, if you got a preservative that it's put in blood so you could get DNA, the only people that have this preservative are crime labs.
Come on.
So if I test this blood and I find this preservative in the blood, then that means the blood came from a crime lab.
That's right. And who got blood from OJ Simpson? The police asked OJ Simpson as a courtesy. Instead of having his lawyer consult, OJ figured, I haven't done anything. Let me prove to these people that I'm innocent. Sure, take the blood. And they took the blood, put the stuff into it, and set him up with the blood that he gave to prove that he would work with the police.
And they were so corrupt that they doubled back and took the tainted blood, the blood that was already had the preservatives in it, back to the crime scene. Like they tried so hard.
They did it twice.
Yes, they tried so hard. When you look at a case, they say the evidence produces the suspect. when you're dealing with a violence case. The evidence produced the suspect. They tried so hard to make OJ the killer that they were fumbling over each other's planning of evidence.
Come on.
And not only that, they did other things like said that OJ Simpson washed the blood off, but there was no blood in the pipes. At least, I mean, the blood would have still been in certain things. It would have been inside the gutters and they didn't have that. They wanted that so badly. Look, I get it. Let me remind you, I can't stand OJ. My thing is get him. And then it says, oh my God, he's innocent. As I said, I'm prejudiced against OJ. And in fact, I remember where I was sitting in Shirlington, Virginia, when OJ Simpson was fully acquitted. I was waiting for him to be guilty. I nearly fell out the chair when they had nothing. No charge? How? I think a black man, 2 dead white people, Los Angeles, surely they'll do something. When they let it, I had to literally walk off work. I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. Not that they hadn't proven that the people had no case, but they worked so hard to set OJ up. Remember, they were very angry with the jury. They attacked the jury after the trial, started calling them stupid. They called it jury nullification. They made it out that these were some illiterate, evil people. They never, ever explained reasons as to why the jury would have reached a conclusion that the police didn't have a case against OJ. It's interesting, you had another trial not too long before for Rodney King.
Come on.
In the case of Rodney King, I remember the words of the white woman on the jury. Rodney King was controlling the action. That's as he's being tased and beaten by multiple officers. Rodney King was in charge. They never questioned the jury in Simi Valley, never said that they were stupid or they were ignorant or it was jury nullification, because the police, who were brutal, who were known for being a goon squad, were exonerated. They wanted the same sort of thing to happen to OJ, and it didn't happen. Remember that the Los Angeles Police Department had lost. Marsha Clark tried to get the McMartin family. There were a series of cases that whole lost.
And for the people in the chat who love law, who love to do research, if he would have got found guilty for this farce of a trial, there's a thing in legal circles called fruit of the poisonous tree. Look it up. You can look at case law. It should not have been a trial, you guys. Like it's really sad when you look back at it 30 years from now and look at what was being presented. That OJ, you know what OJ was guilty of? He lost in the media. He did not lose in that courtroom.
And OJ was also guilty of not trusting his attorneys. Him thinking that he could be a good darky and give up his blood to people. On top of that, they felt like the little cut that OJ Simpson had on his finger was evidence of a struggle for life. You mean you fought a grown man and you get a little nick on your finger and that's a life or death struggle? You know what? Being a racist has to be like being on some psychotropic drug. The other thing is, isn't it interesting? Listen, let me give you some contradictory thing for the stupid, liar, dumbass Los Angeles cops. You want us to believe that OJ Simpson had on these very good leather gloves. And yet, as he's wearing these leather gloves, you want us to think that somehow those leather gloves had no cut in it. You mean someone stabbed OJ in his finger through the glove, but the glove itself didn't have a slash in it too? In order for something to cut his flesh, it would have had to have gone through the leather on the glove that didn't fit his hands. Are you understanding me? The other issue is, and this is what's really interesting, they said that those were the bloody gloves that were used to kill those two people. Even then, they should have been able to get traces of OJ Simpson's blood, or should have been able to get something, hair or something from OJ Simpson inside of that glove. The only thing they had were gloves, and since he had his hands, they hadn't been amputated, they were hoping that that glove would fit. You know what's interesting? They said that OJ Simpson had on these Italian shoes. Why didn't they have OJ Simpson also try the shoes on? Since they said that those shoes were right. Remember that? They never had OJ Simpson try on the shoes. They said they were his. To me, if the glove didn't fit, maybe the shoes fit.
Come on.
Why didn't they try the shoes? Again, I can't stand OJ Simpson. I was thinking of ways to nail his ass. and I kept getting disappointed. I kept getting disappointed, saying they don't have anything. I can't stand him, and he's a piece of crap, and this, that, and he beat the hell out of his wife. And the other thing, they had AJ Cowlins testify against OJ, but AJ Cowlins more than likely had sex with Nicole Simpson. What you look like, he may have at least. He won it. You had fantasies or actually got involved with your guy's lady because they were swingers. And then you're in court testifying against OJ. And you're his best friend. And 30 years later, he hasn't put out any kind of book or done interviews. You wonder why? I can tell you something. If he said something, he would get busted. Because AJ had to know something about the parties that went on in that house. People knew that the freaky stuff went there. They have orgies and stuff in these houses in California. Sure they do.
Right.
Eyes wide shut. So this was a drug thing that went bad. Beverly Hills is a heavily GCP community. And one of the people, GCP, was slaughtered horrifically. And they probably never wanted OJ in their neighborhood in the first place.
There you go.
And so this was about removing someone that they never wanted around in the first place. Your money and your fame can't make you acceptable to bigoted people who see you as a subhuman being. Although I'm certain for generations to come, we're going to have Black people, or whatever they call themselves, trying to be accepted in quarters where they're not wanted,
correct,
where they're hated. And your money, as the Beatles says, money can't buy me love. And I'll change it to money can't buy white love. Can't buy white love. Love. No. No. Da 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 da. No, you think you're white. You sell out cooling all the time, thinking things gonna be all right. I don't care how much you worship money. Money can't buy white love. Money can't make people like you. Money will not make you as an individual equal. If we are wealthy as a group, we have a better chance, but money won't buy white love. It won't buy it for Kanye. It won't buy it for Shitty or Gazy or Ofaga or Al Shaton or any of these people. What will get you at least respected is that you have dignity, integrity, and that your group is down for a fight to survive. Bring on some other panelists. But
Well,
come on, y'all.
here's what we got, sir. I got something. I got a small little intermission going into the next thing here. And it starts with America's Sweetheart. Look at this one. This is yeah. Go ahead. Keep saying it, brother Doctor. I see you froze up when I put American Sweetheart
with the blonde wig on. Let me tell you something. I'll believe that you're serious when folks start dyeing their pubic hair blonde, sisters. When you dye your pubic hair blonde, I'll believe that you're legit when you have a blonde wig on. The hair on your head should match it in your drawers. If one is one color and something else, you're a phony.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the final subject matter, here's a little small amuse. Now, your girl Glorilla. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is the girl that last year, well, in the beginning of your president's term, they was rolling out your girl Cardi B. They had a whole bunch
What does the B stand for? I have a suspicion.
I would say bust down.
No, I thought bitch, but anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that was. I didn't want to go there that quick, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the girl that's meeting with your president, sitting down with your president. Okay. And now she's getting caught with DUIs, pissing on herself, doing all type of wild shit. So I'm going to go ahead and play this track for y'all.
Well, but you know what? She's in good company if she pees on herself. He poops on himself. Maybe they should get together and form an act. Let me just say this, guys.
Go ahead.
This gentleman, TG, is talking about the Democoons or the Democrats. And I say niggercrats. I don't care. Yes, I said it. Don't you like that, niggercrats? Indeed. I'm sick and tired of, and what happened in Los Angeles is Democratic government. Everything was Democratic, and they tried to railroad them. And the same as then as now, we need to go in a different direction as a collective. And this stuff will continue to happen. And as I said to someone, if my butt is itching, it's nobody white's fault. Either I'm going to wipe it or get used to the discomfort. When are we going to start taking stock of where we are? Okay, it's not like I don't see. I was on the phone all day talking to Republican people, trying to pull something off here because they let all kinds of stuff is going on. But at the end of the day, it's left to us to make a decision of either we're going to survive or we're not going to survive. And we won't make it. In fact, I'm going to say this of OJ. The scriptures say the wages of sin is death, and they were living very wicked, sinful lives. OJ, Diddy, Gazy, all of these people come from sometimes humble origins, and their goal is to have lots of crazy interracial sex and do lots of drugs and be filthy and be high and drunk, not build institutions or schools or do things that are creative, that are noble, that are uplifting, but to just live lives as wastrels. That's what these people aspire, and this rap music and other stuff has been pointing our people in the path of degeneracy and genocide. And so OJ Simpson, Diddy, and everybody like him, even this little whore that you've got up here, sir, that was with Biden. And they surround themselves with filthy black people. And yes, we have filthy black people. There's white trash. There's got to be some black trash.
Well, sir, I'm going to play the track for him, sir.
I'm a witness.
We're going to play the track for him. So let's go ahead and check it out because, again, she has influence, unfortunately.
You mean she has sinfluence?
Hofluence. Hold on.
Hello, Swanee Police. So the reason I pulled you over today is because you made a U-turn at a red light.
Okay. My GPS is taking me to walk past this way, and it took me there.
And it took you over there? Yeah. Okay. So do me a favor so we can get out of this roadway. I'm going to need your driver's license. I'm going to go back to my car. I'll flash my lights at you. Whenever I do that, or whenever these cars pass us, I want you to turn into this turn lane over here, okay? And just stay right there for me. Were you drinking tonight?
I'm not drunk.
Okay. So I can smell it coming from your breath. Okay. All right, when you roll down the window. Okay.
Yeah.
So in a few minutes, I'm going to have another officer come over here, and we're going, if you're willing, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. How many drinks did you have today?
I'm cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I ain't drunk or nothing.
47 ready. I started at good 7. How many drinks did you have, man?
I'm okay.
That's not my question.
I'm okay. I'm telling you.
10 for it. Ma'am?
I'm okay.
Not only can I smell alcohol coming from your breath, but I can also smell marijuana coming from this car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In just a moment, I'll be searching this car. Is there anything that I'm going to find in this car?
I have a gun registered to my name.
A gun? Okay, where's the gun at? It's okay, you don't have to reach for it. Where is it?
Yeah, it's in the car.
Where is it?
In the car.
Yes, ma'am. Where at?
It's in
just
my
for
back
my
seat.
safety? Okay.
Yeah, it's in my back seat.
Where, is it like in a bag or?
No, it's just in the back seat.
Okay. All right. Any marijuana?
No, because you still going to pick on me. It don't matter who I am.
Pick on you? I'm not picking on you. You're driving and I can smell alcohol off your breath.
But I'm not drunk. I can tell you this. I can promise you that I do.
Oh, God.
This stuff annoys me, y'all.
Well, feminism annoys me.
These are the people who are constantly rolled out, and somebody, I gotta be honest. I'll be honest with y'all. When I was younger, anytime these Democrats rolled these people out, these famous folks, I would act as if I made it. So,
where did you make it? Where were you making it?
This is why I say this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, Brother Short. For me, the victory was seeing them have something because I was told that it means something.
Mm-hmm.
Not it actually meaning anything for me or my community.
You know that's kind of pornographic. It's like sort of black social porn. You're watching someone else have sex. You're imagining you being inside the ugly druggie that has to sell their body on video to get drugs. And so you're getting off to someone else. We're pornographically looking at these filthy, no good, trashy, fake, untalented black celebrities. And it's pornographic thinking, wow. See, if you're eating lobster there in Jersey, it doesn't fill my belly. The same way porn is illogical to me. I mean, I'm not feeling you if you're on top of somebody. Why would I want to see something I can't do? You get where it's pornographic. It's voyeurism. It's a world of make-believe and phoniness that drives this whole black celebrity cult of worship. It's nasty. It's dirty. It's empty. I hate it. I wish it would all burn up. As I said, I have a fantasy about being dictator of Black America. Man, I would arrest almost all the celebrities, all the ones that had blunts and stuff on television. I mean, drink champs would be shut down, or I'd be making those niggas drink Perrier. I know they would be miserable having to drink regular water. They'd probably dehydrate all the filth that they're doing. Man, I would have so much fun. Oh my God, I know how to get people to stop liking basketball. You know why? You'd force people to have to read a book before they could come to a basketball game. The NBA would be gone the week because nobody, I ain't read nothing. I can't read anyway. Man, well, I'm going to play. They'll be watching the Latinos play soccer.
Well, ultimately, brother Dr. Short, the reason I bring that up is because, if at that time, a younger guy, I would believe that, things are changing for us as a younger man. I can only imagine that now they roll out these type of folks and they have the same mindset. This means progress for us because it's told, especially depending on what kind of you're coming from. And there's no real impact, solid influence on your life. And then you can even come from a decent environment, but if you got a bunch of vote blue no matter who's in your family, it's gonna always come off like bullshit. Well, at least come off as the right thing to do when it's always been very detrimental to you and your community, regardless of what's going on. So this is the detriment of she's popular, just like a Sexy Red. These are the people who have cameras around them all the time.
You know who else had cameras around them all the time that was popular? Hitler. Being popular, having cameras. I'm so tired of this. God, I'm just tired. Why these people don't matter? Let me share with you. You know how you matter? When you do something that helps people, that's uplifting, and that's when you have problems. I mean, these DUIs and other stuff, to me, that DUI would have been better had they that woman manhandled her and grabbed her by her weave and all, did like a Sandra Bland situation. That would be very helpful to her. The fact that she got treated well with a lot of respect when she was in the wrong sent her the wrong message. If she got yoked like somebody down in Mississippi, she'd think about driving drunk again. Not that I want people to get their behinds beat, but I guess some people, maybe they need that. I don't want that to be. I don't want police putting their hands on people, but we've got a lot of wayward people. I took the bus this week and I was amazed here in DC. People don't pay to get on the bus anymore. They just walk on. I mean, I'm trying to pay. Thing wouldn't take my damn money. Not that I wanted to pay, but that's what you do. If you ride, you pay. And people just getting on the bus. There's a whole lawless streak in our community. I would tell anyone, we cannot carry 3 crosses. The cross of the struggle for justice, reparations, and advancement. The cross of white supremacy and all the other people that hate our guts and Black self-hatred. And the cross of Black degeneracy and depravity. I mean, 1 cross is too much. 3, that's why we're stuck. There's too many hoops that we have to jump. Some of this stuff has to change.
Well, I tell you what, brother Dr. Short, let me play this clip here too, because again, this is America's sweetheart here.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, well, right, Joe. Yeah, you. Yeah, Glow.
The fuck out of here.
But you know what? I don't know. It's like he ate a fistful of Prevagens, and they're trying to make him seem cool. I mean, to me, When you had the woman thrown in jail within the last 2 weeks that had a diary showing that you molested young daughter.
No dude ain't got to meet the president. What was it like meeting?
No dude boinking his daughter and sharing with his own daughter
Come on.
can be cool. And let me say something to you. You heard about the case of the black girl that was going on a date with a white dude up in Wisconsin, and now they found that her body's been all chopped up. And you know, there's a huge number of black women defending the guy who had his own dungeon to sexually torture people. It's all of these black ladies that haven't even gotten a trial or any of that, and the women are saying he's innocent. And yet I'm looking at all these people 30 years later saying OJ Simpson is black because his wife was white, his ex-wife was white, then he's guilty. But this young white boy who's on a date with this black woman who mysteriously ends up chopped up into bits, they're already saying he's honest without all the evidence being masked.
Come on.
And a lot of these are black females.
Well, you know what? And see, this is part of the dilemma, sir. They listen. The old boogie white man. He don't even have to come off the bench anymore. He ain't even got to come off the bench. He could, motherfucker, could sit in the bleachers all day and just chill. And he send these folks out. This is who he sends out. But let's go ahead and play her now.
They are the new Ku Klux Klan. I mean, they're trash.
Fair use by the Copyright Act of 1976, y'all. Here we go.
Like meeting President Biden and Vice President Harris.
It was so cool. I was geeked. Like, you know, everybody don't get to meet the president and the vice president. Yeah, and so, like, just being able to be in the White House, like I never in a million years thought I'd be in the White House. Then I was in the White House and got to meet the president and vice president. Oh, they can't mess with me. Like, I just feel like, oh, you feel me?
And he also sounded like he knew your music as well. Gloria, I mean, I want to read a part, though, of a text that your mother sent you after your visit to the West. It says, quote, I've come from being the woman with a bunch of kids living in a blue house with no real furniture in Frasier to the classiest, most beautiful, and most talented rapper of this generation's mom, who's moved on up to a beautifully furnished house. Get 'em, Glow. That is so sweet. Talk to me about what that message meant to you.
It meant everything to me because we really did come from absolute nothing. Like when we was living in that blue house with all my brothers and sisters, nobody never would have thought nobody would have been in the White House or none. So it was just a proud moment for my mama. Like she called me so happy, like she was super excited, and that's one of the reasons that I be more happy about my accomplishments than anything else because how proud my mom and my daddy be of me.
Ladies and
hey,
gentlemen.
Chef C.
Yes, sir, brother Q.
One of the things about Glorilla, which is a very interesting name that she's tried to use, and playing on the name and going to the White House, and for whatever reason she went to the White House, and then following up with CNN, is that we could go back over 50 years when Malcolm made that famous statement about entertainers and comedians. This is not going to stop.
Come on.
It's not going to stop in our community because we have an issue in our community where we don't like to defer.
Come on, man.
We don't like to say, I'm not qualified or I don't know enough about a particular topic. Let's go to an expert, historian, politician, that we're so quick to, nowadays, I'm going to use my platform to speak on certain issues. Not trying to be funny. Shut the fuck up. You're compromised. You can't speak on that issue.
Come on.
Because what happens is that they're in bed against the interests of Black Americans with these companies, corporations, and people. So they get on, like when he tried to get Cardi B, they used Cardi B for all the stuff. And then what happened with Cardi B?
Yeah, more bullshit.
She started speaking
right
against their agenda, basically for her people. But instead, what she should have done, and what 99.9% of these celebrities, entertainers should do, is they should fund grassroots organizations that's going to be have expertise and have a real voice for our people. But instead, they thrive, and attention is such an addiction that they do it, and then what they continue doing, they're gonna use you, hold you out until you've done enough job for the Democratic Party.
Come on.
They're gonna send you back to the wolves. They do it time and time again. You've seen it. Stephen A. Smith he been doing all this sucking and jiving for all this time.
Come on, talk
all this stuff instead of saying, I'm a sports guy. I'm gonna bring somebody on my platform that's grassroots that could speak about grassroots issues better than I. He spoke the other day on Fox News, Hannity's show, and spoke highly about Trump. So now you know what all the Democratic shill's gonna do? They're gonna attack Stephen A. Smith. Because it's a game that continues to go on. They know who the grassroots people are. Mainstream media knows exactly who to talk to if you want to get tangible, real results for Black Americans. But they go to these celebrities because these celebrities don't know how to defer. You don't.
Well, actually, it's not that they don't know how to defer. The real problem is that there's a big addiction, and it is called gratification addiction. Right now, we're undisciplined as a people, and every opportunity to be paid attention to be gratified, to be celebrated, basically it's a type of psychological masturbation to just every chance to, whether it's getting high, whether it's drinking, whether it's sex, just gratify the flesh at all times is the do it till you're satisfied. Remember that song? Come on and do it till you're satisfied. Right? Do it till you're satisfied. Or there's another song, don't hold back. If it feels good, do it. Don't hold back.
That's right.
So
Come on.
Everything is pleasure. The Black community has become completely degenerate, filthy, and hedonistic. If anal sex is good, if licking an anus is good, if eating other people's semen is good, if getting your thing cut off is good, if calling yourself a woman is good, if going to an orgy is good, if doing weed is good, if it feels good, whatever it is, if being a stud is good, if hating men is good, there's anything that pleases the flesh, do it as much as you can, constantly, without any restraint. And that's why we have high rates of syphilis, AIDS. In fact, we have super high rates of suicide because all of that crazy, dissolute living does not fill the inner man or woman. And we have all of these Black folks committing suicide, even younger and younger, suicide children with guns, because our lives are empty. Without God, we become a godless, despicable people. And I'm going to say to you, the basis of all American music is the Negro spiritual. When we had some sense, whether you're the holiest person or not, a sense that there's a God, a creator, a order, there's something to look forward to, even the life to come. These people, now all of we've been emptied out. In fact, the amorality and immorality of a lot of Black folks in this hip hop mega church, take Dick's Jake world that we're in. I mean, the supremacists and the racists, all they should do is hand out condoms, lube, weed, crack pipes, and let us self-destruct. You know what? These people don't want reparations. They want masturbation, nonstop. And frankly, I wish I could crazy glue people's hands to their penises and jerk themselves off till they had a stroke, because nothing else matters but being pleasured at every point. You have women going on cruises and they leave their children I mean, just horrific things. Leave the kid in the car, 100-degree weather, just every which kind, any accountability, any responsibility, anything that demands that I'm not being pleasured, celebrated, and praised is a turnoff. And in reality, the only thing that is suited to be praised is God, and God doesn't, or actually, you have a bunch of crazy black people that think they're God. I mean, so you're God, but your car has been repossessed. You're God, you're homeless. You're God, you don't have $10 in the bank. You're God, you got erectile dysfunction. At least you should be able to get it out, right? And I'm not talking about praise. I mean, all of this empty, godless, shallow living has caught up with us. And you know what? It's not left to a reparations check or anything that any other group of people can do. It is a choice between going over into the abyss, into hell, or for us to pull back and say, I want out the hog pit. And right now, I don't think people really want out the hog pit. After all, mud can be quite satisfying. In fact, pigs like being in their own poop and litter in the mud, because you know what? On a certain level, it satisfies their flesh because pigs can't sweat. And there's a group of black folks who like being in their own poop, urine, and waste, but in a spiritual way. And they want us all to be in a hog pit. And if you've ever been around a pig will come and rub all over you and smear dirt and poop all over you. That's if you get around pigs will bring their dookie and all with them. That's what I love about cats. The thing I absolutely love about cats, selfish. Cats, and that's why I love cats. The thing about cats is they don't want you to see them shit. Cats hide their shit. They keep, cats are like elite white people. Even if they're dirty, they don't want you to know. Cats hide their
That's a fact. God damn, that's a fact. Cats are clean as fuck. That's a fact.
What I love about cats is that I don't have to do. I love dogs, but I always think about the fact that if I deal with a dog, I have to deal with this shit. In fact, a dog is a lot like coons. A dog is a lot like self-hating, no good black people. At some point, you're gonna have to deal with their power. There's no way they can keep it from.
Well, you know what? I wanted to play that for y'all. Salute to the brother Negro in the building. Gunshot for the Negro night, ladies and gentlemen. Understand?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. How's everything going?
What's happening, brother Negro? You know, this is this subject matter. I wanted to touch on this before we get to the final thing. Now, this is for the Gold Sister girls. You know, I'm not hearing enough outrage for this crackhead that I'm about to pull up. They're calling her a meth head, but I'm calling her a crackhead. And in this system, in this particular system, these crackheads are allowed to go free, no matter how heinous or egregious their acts are. And in the case of this young lady here, Darsha, I believe they say her name is, she is a meth head, ladies and gentlemen. This one is a full-blown meth head.
That's a nice jumpsuit she has on.
And
can you imagine? At least it's not booty shorts jumpsuit. They're gonna probably make those. She wouldn't be able to twerk.
It look like a Pan-African color type of jumpsuit. I don't know.
Man, listen, this lady here, meth head to the flow, smothered the child. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've heard about her.
Yeah, brother Dr. Short. We got
she's a definite BK pork chop feminist.
Top flight pork chop. Top flight.
I'm sorry. We got to talk about this. You know, when they talk about black on black murder, we need to talk about black women killing black children like they're Al Capone.
Oh yeah, brother, Dr. Short. I had this in the soup pot for you. I had it in a soup pot, getting simmered down.
And we need to say this: the main killers of children in the black community are black women. There's black women butchering kids out there, and not just all the abortions, which is 6 out of 10 pregnancies. So y'all outstrip every other group of women killing the children before they get here. And my God, it's like, what's that thing? The Tet Offensive, and how they kill children and abandon children. I mean, it hasn't always been this way, but I'll tell you something. That feminism and the witchcraft, like that influencer out in wherever she was that stabbed her husband to death because of the eclipse and then threw her children out in the highway and killed herself. And I'm going to just say this, a lot of this is linked to, I'm going to just say it, there's a lot of crap that people talk about black women being more godly than black men and black women being closer to God than black men. It's a crock. There are a lot of hellish, Satanist, Luciferian, wicked, monstrous black women out here that are just as bad as the black dudes who at least get busted and get sentenced and handled for their crap. Because I'm going to tell you, in fact, I had a rap today. It's a ripoff of one of those great white poems, because, you know, white folk really have it going on. And it says, a simp don't want to ask hoes why. A simp just wants to screw and die. And
oh wow, that leads into that other conversation too. Did you hear about that Shade Robinson chick that where she ended up screwing the wrong man and ended up really dying? For real.
Which man did she screw? And what about
the white man? And he King Henry the Fifth her and beheaded her and her body parts.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the one in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that
man,
one, the 19-year-old baby.
Well, but I'm going to just say this to you. We've been talking about this on Pat Talk, and I've been doing this on other things, saying my black sisters, I'm not trying to tell you who to be with, but I'm trying to say to you, a lot of folks that you love don't love you.
Come on.
And a whole lot of black ladies would never talk to a black dude that's slightly eccentric or nerdish, but would get with a white dude that's nerdish and eccentric. And in this instance, you have a white eccentric boy with a torture dungeon sex prison in his basement. And you could hook up with him, but you wouldn't want to be with the dude you saw reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. He has a book in his hand. And I would just tell you, they have this urban rumor that a lot of really ignorant, even in college, dumbass black ladies think that black men are smart, can't screw. So if you were smart and you did your academic work, they figured you were a dud. And then when that same dude that was a dud, if they got with a white woman or an Asian or Latino, they would call him a traitor, but they wouldn't spot him. They wouldn't date him, wouldn't even speak to him, except for when he got with a woman in another group. And I know it's like to see black women get with white men that look like Seinfeld retread, people from the bar that, you know, are just best boys walking through, like frumpy, terrible looking white men. And they could get with them. And the guys are nerds, or they can't dance, or they can't dress, but they're white. So the glorification of being with the white man comes with the cost. Are there white men that treat black women well when they get married? Yep. In fact, black women are far less likely to divorce a white man if they marry them than if they marry a black man. So I get it. But at the same time, they don't mind pooling money or financing the white dude or all of that. They give, you know, black dude's supposed to be a millionaire before she even speaks to him, right?
No, this is
millionaire. right? But she can help build up a white dude, which means that the black woman being a social hermaphrodite, where she lives as a man and a woman at the same time when she's dealing with a black man, but she's willing to be a wife to a white man.
Come on.
And I'm not mad at her for being a wife to a white man, but I'm saying it's hypocrisy. It's a double standard. And all the while, if you think that other people don't see it, because black folks are so goofy, we're the most studied people in the world. People know all about us. They may not care, may not respect you, but they've read about you. Their books. The books may not get the whole picture, but we don't study them as much as people study us. And so they're going to be a lot more disasters, as I promised. There would be plenty of black women, and there can be a lot of black men that would do anything to be with a white female, especially if it would cost them their lives. I guess the greater threat of danger makes, I guess, the orgasm better for the simps. Lots of people who have to be in dangerous interracial liaisons will be killed, and please don't call me. And I'm thinking I have a baby father, I think a cousin whose baby father was messed with a white female and now he's dead. It happens. I'm not happy, but I don't want to get involved. If that's what you want, if our history and all these things saying you really need to be careful in general of who you get with. If you feel you can be footloose and fancy free, the same way I saw an interesting story from England. A Somali man, no, it's from Europe. A Somali man got with a European woman and realized that his family would not accept this European woman. So he beheaded her. So a lot of these, what's that song by let me get his name right. Wilson Pickett. He had a song, "Don't Let the Green Grass Fool Ya." Don't think just because the person is in an ethnic group that doesn't share your culture or your values, that everything will be perfect, because people are people. White men beat white women. Arab men beat Arab women. Asian men beat Asian women. Latino men definitely beat Latino women, and they cheat and they kill. And in fact, to all of my ignorant black American women that think every other group of men are better than black men are in a matriarchy where, in fact, which is wrong, which is why we have Pat Talk. When you're in the patriarchy, spoiled, privileged black women, you've got way more power and influence in the black culture over black men than what you will have with any other group of people, including Africans and Caribbeans. Mess around with a Caribbean dude, you will get beat down. An African dude beat down and maybe even killed. There's certain cultures where it isn't wrong to kill a woman that disrespects you. There's been a spate of black women from the diaspora going to Africa, getting with men over there and getting killed. Maybe because they mouthed off and talked to them like they could talk to a man in England or America. It ain't so outside of a handful of societies. And you've been shielded. And I want to say this because our black women, forgive me, when it comes down to doing cross-cultural analysis, most black women suck at it. You guys are some of the most you completely lack understanding in terms of reality. And let me explain to you what I mean. I remember being in college and the same black women that would bitch and moan. I mean, you could get them a Washington Monument size Kotex and they could take that thing out in 5 minutes, whining and bleeding about everything. And there are not enough men in college for us, and we outnumber them, and all this bitch talking. Okay, it's outrageous. And instead of recognizing that the Black American men and culture is the only culture that I know of in the world where there's been an overemphasis in order to protect women from sexual predation and abuse. We've educated our women to protect them from Black and white and other predators and bad jobs, and sacrifice the boys because we are in a cultural economic war with everybody. The dumbass Black woman doesn't get that.
Well, hold on, brother.
She's in college by herself. She's angry with Black men as if we structured this society instead of saying maybe someone sacrificed for me to be here. Let me be reciprocal. You get where I'm coming from? This does not happen. Instead, well, why are there so many? Do Black men run the society? No. Don't you run after white men because they have more money and power? Yes. Then why would you prorate the Black man based on the white man, other than you're some sort of cosmic asshole?
Come on.
Or you're a complete buffoon. I'm not excusing any faults in Black men, but if he's making 60 cents to the white gentleman's dollar, you're blaming him?
Come on. Come on.
Why not help him get the dollar by not blowing money? Demanding you pay for my nails. I mean, basically, we have a lot of folks that think freelance prostitution is dating.
Come on.
Or courtship. You think of ways to spend and blow money instead of how to conserve and save money and build something. Instead of getting your hair done twice a week, how about starting a business where we can employ children and each other and you can make $1 to the next person's dollar? How about that? So there's this really stupid, and then what buttresses the stupid behavior from the woman? The vagina goddess worshiping simps. Man, just don't say, man, I just want some pussy. I don't care. I don't care if I'm not respected. I don't care if they kill babies. I don't care if she will. I just want some pussy. Man, I don't want a family. I can't show up. But we have a lot of no good sperm dropper dudes. And they're the perfect match for these, should I use my term, chef?
Of course.
These feminist UFOs. A lot of feminists are UFOs. You know what a UFO is? A UFO is an unfuckable object. Yes, I said it.
Well, sir.
Somebody that nobody should be with. You don't want to love. You don't want to cook. You don't want a mother. You don't want a wife. You don't want to save money. You don't want to cooperate. You don't want to be kind. You don't want to love. You want someone to be your slave. You don't want to have children. Everyone's just supposed to worship you and pretend that your fat rolls are beautiful, that the tattoos on your eyeballs are appealing, that this ugly Pebbles and Bam Bam weave. I mean, we talking about crackhead, Flintstone weave and stuff. It's beautiful. This is insane. And by the way, notice the woman that got killed by the guy in Wisconsin. She was very presentable. She wasn't doing all that stupid ghetto trash stuff. So in other words, she kept herself pure and wholesome for the white dude that chopped her up like a bucket of chicken.
Come on.
And so I'm like, I'm not saying that there ain't Black men out there hurting Black women, but you know, the same women that go out with the dude with the killer eye tear on their cheek, they go for the guys with the gang tattoos. The guy lets you know he's a killer, and that's who you want to screw on the first date. Oh my God. And it's collectively Black men's fault when some stupid woman gets with a serial killer and then she gets killed, and it's a reflection on all Black men. But you know what? That white man that chopped that girl up is not a reflection on all white men. Even though when black women, as black men were chattel slaves and white men raped black women at will, that doesn't cast dispersion on white men collectively. But anything that any one black man does today casts dispersion on us collectively. This is some insane, ungodly stuff that people are on. And as I warned people, judgment's coming. And when I see, like, remember that case in Ohio where the white man in his 80s shot the black woman Uber driver and she got set up? It's horrific. It's awful. He executed that woman. Remember, I've been saying to you, Chef, and I've been saying it to Lone Wolf and others, that you're going to see an explosion and horrific crimes committed against black women. One, they're unprotected. One, they're in a lot of places that are dangerous for a man. And like that stupid ass black woman coach that thinks that men belong in women's sports.
Come on.
I really wish she was a boxing coach and believe men belong in women's boxing so she could spar with the dude and him knock her head off. I mean, it's going to take that. But black women, this culture that you folks are into, where you're spoiled by the black American culture, where you get to basically do anything. You can have kids by 10, 12 different people. You can lie to it. And there's a white system that's backs you. Try that with a Nigerian. Try it with an Arab. Try it with the Latino. Try it. And people will. There's a black woman somewhere where she's disappeared in Clayton County, Georgia. I suspect she's the type that messes with Latinos and now they can't find her. I'm not saying it's a Latino, but I think it could be. And you're seeing all these people, women disappearing. I've been saying they lit close to 10 million men in this country. They're going to want to screw someone. Trust me. If you've ever had a penis, ladies, no one likes having had the thing rock hard all the time. It really is annoying. It's a drag. And at some point, if you've been hard time too many in a day or a week, you're going to want to blank someone. Whether you can speak the same language, whether you can afford it, whether you know where it is, you don't want a plastic one. You want a real flesh and blood person. In fact, almost all these people coming into the country come from places where they have sex with people as young as 9, 10 years old. And it's gonna be a real trip. I don't want it happen. I care. I don't like. I hate what I see coming. But I'm saying to the women, are protected. They're out of order. There's all the men are locked up or removed. I mean, they can't come around because you're mad at them. Blah. And you got all these people everywhere. They're putting them on police forces, letting them vote and so forth. And you're going to see a lot of strange things occur, horrific things. I'm hoping that the loss of life isn't so great that some of us can come together and figure out how we can work together and move forward. I'm not suggesting that anybody hate anybody else. I am suggesting that people respect and figure out how we can cooperate together. And just maybe people that are decent and legitimate just might find a way to cooperate. If not, and I have to say, oh, his holy name, Kevin Samuels, has shown us the way that if it can't be found here, serenity and family can be found. It's a visa or a passport away. And we will outsource those relationship jobs where they can find a more disciplined relationship labor force. It's really a choice. You know, if labor costs go too high, the businesses go someplace else. Let me stop for a second now. Bring it on, Chef. What are you thinking, sir? Talk for a sec.
Well, I want to check in with the brothers real quick, but before we do that, sir, if you're not looking at the screen, we have the honorable
Oh yes,
Kevin Samuels, and
glory.
I will say I have to conclude in 6 minutes, but we definitely got to give him a moment of silence, sir. It is necessary.
Oh, yes, he's a great helm. What a mighty guide we follow. What a mighty guide we follow. He's a great man. A great man. He even went out mounted on somebody. High hole silver. Okay. Silence.
5 seconds for the honorable Kevin Samuels. Kevin. Indeed.
Say it again. Kevin. One more time. Kevin. I feel all right now.
So really quickly here, I want to first salute before we get into this last portion, because it is necessary that we shine a light on this this quote unquote victim.
Was this killer
that they let loose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And but
because they sanctify women that kill children. It's called health care.
Right.
Killing children is health care. And frankly, the Black population isn't reproducing because we have such a high rate of abortion and baby killing and family break. We're not going to make it another 30 years, 20 years the way we're going. Something has to give. And again, my comment, if you can't meet a person in this culture that's willing to form a family with you, you have our permission to travel abroad. In fact, Chef C, we need to let people know that we're going to start having patriarch summits to organize and work with people. If you're not a patriarch, if you'd like to be one, to reinforce strengthening to encourage patriarchy. And we're going to bring it back. At the same point, we're going to.
Hey, Brother Short, real quickly, something is wrong with your mic, sir.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it's been going in and out, and as soon as you got ready to talk, it's really low. Let me see if we can adjust. I don't know. Give me a mic check, Brother Short. Give me a mic check. Mic check. No. What the fuck? Yes, sir. Every time we about to do that, Brother Q, brother Negro. I definitely want to wake up this hero in the eyes of the court. Let me see.
It's Shiro, brother. It's Shiro. Remember, we're in the feminist times.
She's not a Shiro.
There you are. You're good, Brother Short. Go ahead, get it off while your mic is good.
She is Hetty Kruger instead of Freddie. And killing babies is evil. And the thing about, forgive me, Black men, if we weren't so ass stupid, we wouldn't have these problems in our community. We have to stigmatize the killing of babies. Murdering a baby and getting an abortion isn't cool. Okay, it has to become uncool. And we have to sanctify and change our perspective. Sex is not like urinating or taking a bowel movement. Sex is always potentially procreative, and therefore it has to be seen as spiritual and treated with respect and reverence, instead of as the white word that they use, spewing. As if it's saliva. Semen and saliva are two different things. Your seed is sacred; it carries life. And we've become very hedonistic and paganistic as a people, and we pay as a consequence. Baby killing has actually been normalized. There's sisters that do TikToks and abortion clinics and so forth. They do all kinds of stuff. And I'll tell you, a lot of the stuff that Black men don't like about Black women, the attitudes and the meanness, people need to understand that when a woman kills a baby inside of herself, it alters her character and her nature. It does things almost on the level of being raped. And so a lot of this human records that you see out here, stupid hair, these women have killed babies. Their conduct lets you know that they've murdered a child. And to me, if you could murder my child, you could kill me. If you would murder a child, you kill a child inside of you, could kill someone outside. If that doesn't mean, if it's inconsequential to you who lives or dies, you're a psychopath, you're a narcissist, you're a dangerous person, you're someone I wouldn't trust with my back turned. And so all these guys get with these women that abort babies and wonder how they could go to court and lie and coach the kids to say you raped them and take everything and destroy you. Well, hell, if they could kill a baby, why not lie on a living person in court?
Right.
A woman that would abort a baby's character is very different from a woman that would not abort a baby. And a real woman wouldn't give herself to someone that they weren't committed and married to so that child would be loved. This whole thing about this whole culture of birth control and contraception, where the women are trying to be as loose with sex as men have been projected to be. And in fact, a lot of these days, women have body counts, greater than the great World War II battlefields of Russia. I mean, they've got body counts like Gaza. They're outdoing the men. That has to change. And again, there has to become a godly, holy concept of sex. And in fact, the only difference between a lot of men and queers is, and a lot of them go both ways, is which hole they stick their pole in. Because there's nothing holy or sacred that they do. They don't really like the woman or care about her. They don't want her. They don't want to be a dad. They don't want to be a husband. A woman doesn't want to be a wife, doesn't want to be a mother. So in reality, people are they're having weird, strange, Luciferian sex magic liaisons. And alongside all of that is a lot of suicide, killing, rape, STDs, confusion. And it just keeps multiplying. And at some point, I want to just say to you something that I need to put out there. There are a lot of people who are thinking that all this cheap sex that they can get from the people south of the border haven't understood that things like typhoid and tuberculosis are very common diseases south of the border.
Right.
And there are going to be a lot of people with tuberculosis that's incurable. You're going to see a lot of people dying because they're just whores, male whores. Or I don't know, what do you call a male whore? A Moor? I don't know. Well, sometimes. All of this whoring is ultimately sterilizing people. There's so many women with pelvic inflammatory disease. In fact, they can't have children. We have a high rate of sterility, Black women. A lot of that fertility is because you had your tubes scraped all up like Benihana was up in there. You've been with all these different people, all those bacteria, that stuff is evil. That's why there's so many women that can't have children. No one talks about this. There are a lot of men who are sterile and dying from heart attacks, eating eating Viagra like it's pork and beans because you've watched so much porn or been with so many people, or you've got cardiovascular problems, all this prostate stuff, all of this crazy behavior is destroying people. And it's interesting. The LGBTQ community because it offends them to hear public service announcements to be reminded of the diseases that they have. There used to be public information about STDs and so forth to alert people.
Right.
But now, to make these people feel better, there's almost no public information about sexually transmitted diseases and infections. So it's every year for like the last 10, 12, 15 years, the rate of STDs goes higher, higher, and higher. And so, and I've heard of and I've noticed a lot of people from other countries, there isn't a stigma to have an STD. I was talking to a friend who knew of people from West Africa who were screwing women that they knew had STDs, and they didn't care. They continued, it was pussy. And I've met people who are that reckless that they don't really care. It's the same way a lot of these hip hop people have HPV and chlamydia, and they've got herpes, and this is known. And it's interesting. It used to be something, and the words of a friend of my father who is gay, he said having STDs was proof of their virility. That's how hot I am. Proof of that is that I've got diseases. Proof that I'm getting some. And that's how a lot of people look at it. And many states have decriminalized spreading STDs, like California and Missouri, which means someone can deliberately give you AIDS and it's not a crime.
Oh.
And so if that's what people want, screw who you want, do what you want, give God the finger. But one day you're going to have lead in your dick in a limp way, or you're going to have more silt in your fallopian tubes in the Nile River. And a lot of folks aren't going to be able to have children. And there are cancers and things linked to some of these STDs that you don't really hear that much about, like herpes and hepatitis C, and there's hepatitis D. I think there's hepatitis F. There's so many of these things until, and you have to understand the pharmaceutical corporations, which are very powerful and they're linked to the oil people and the agricultural people, they're making so much money off of people having sexual diseases. They don't want you to be careful. So you getting infected is a profit center, a profit point for these corporations. All the while they're telling you that you're free, and they're telling you you have a right, and they're telling you it's your lifestyle, and they're telling you it's your pronouns. And in reality, they're getting paid. Now you're going to say something because I know you have to sign off in a few.
Yeah, I was saying, first and foremost, tell them about the summits that we're going to be.
Oh yes, we look forward to having patriarch summits, so we can work with patriarchs supporting each other. We're going to bring patriarchy back. The problem in Black America is the absence of fathers and fatherhood and manhood and solidarity. I really like Chef C, and it's not a gay thing. I really like Brother Robin, and it's not a gay thing. And I like Brother Juan, and I like Brother Quentin, and it's not a gay thing, but these are good brothers. We should be able to have a brotherhood where we give a damn about each other. And I don't need to haze you, and I don't need you to watch you eat horse cum and kick and burn, put out cigarettes in you for a couple of weeks and haze you, and then say, I love you because you drank pig piss and we kicked you, we beat you, and you put, well, I love you. No, I can just like you and respect you because you're a brother. We've been through enough hazing just living in this country. We're going to do that for us. And we're going to have a sister thing because we want to encourage wazihood, wiffery. So we're going to have a female auxiliary for women that want to be wives and want to work with men to create families. And please don't bang 1 trillion babies. You're not qualified. We're looking for viable people who have not been trying to drop babies like a fraud with tadpole eggs. Okay, we're tired of that. We're looking for people that have been classy, that want to come together and try to, on a micro level, begin to create chapters of people that are patriarchs and women that want to be supportive wives or friends or colleagues who think, and we don't want dudes that beat up and abuse women. We will crush your ass if you're a misogynist. We're going to destroy you. If you're a pedophile, we're going to get you. We don't want you. We don't want any freaks. We want normal people who are willing to even do criminal background checks and so forth, because we don't want you to meet anybody, female, anything through us. And it turns out that you're some kind of monster, or you think that the shanker on your dick is a tattoo. We don't want you. We want some legitimate, decent people, thinking, caring, compassionate folks who have some concept that there's a creator and there's an order and that women are to be loved and protected. It's not just what's in her dross, but it's what's in her mind and in her soul that counts. We need to get back to encouraging courtship, solidarity, love, and unity. And by the way, I want to say, sisters, if my words seem harsh to you, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, when you hear criticism, it's because of deep love and a person feeling grief over the situation that they're confronted that makes one talk like one does. I go outside and see people twerking and I'm bewildered because I remember Black women from the 60s and 70s and 80s. And I look at this thing now and just say, what happened? I grew up with Leslie Uggams, Diana Ross, Dorothy Dandridge. I don't care how they're living privately. They're public projection. Cicely Tyson, the dignity and regality of Black women. When I was a boy, when I was very young, I was checking women out when I was 4 years old. I remember one of the first things I said to a woman named Charlene Davis, this beautiful chocolate-skinned woman. I told her, I remember, this is one of the first things I ever said to a woman, "You're beautiful." And she still is. She's a gorgeous woman. The women were something to behold, going to church and everything, the hats. And then I look at this Glorilla and I almost think it's a horrific, what happened to my dream of what I thought my sisters were. I wish I could undo all of this. Bring back the woman that looked really nice. Bring back the Supremes, the 3 degrees. Bring back the glamour, the allure, the regality. And the same thing for men with your asses exposed. All of this, we knew James Cleveland was gay, but at least he wasn't licking on the microphone when he was singing. We've got to the point where it's a race to the bottom. Projecting the worst inside of ourselves is acceptable. That's not keeping it real. That's keeping it hellish. So we are going to have patriarchal summits. We want to have one, a small one in DC. I want Chef to meet someone, and we're going to begin to have these things. And I believe not only will we do this around manhood, if you have a business or an organization, to find ways to do for one another what men in other communities do. You can say what you want. These illegals have been here just a matter of weeks, and they've created international criminal networks all over the world. You mean we can't set up distribution and do business and commerce? And don't blame white people. Damn you, don't you blame white people. It's on us. Okay, stop blaming white people for everything. Black men, either we're going to do something for ourselves or we need to shut the hell up. Racism is real. Racists are real. But you know what? Worrying about them, thinking about them, concentrating on them isn't going to decrease the bullets in their clips or their automatic weapons and all this stuff. It's not going to take any pages out of their Turner Diary books. Either we're going to have something for ourselves or we're not. And that's what we're trying to do. And it isn't about fighting nobody else. I don't hate anybody else. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who I guess you'd call a white female, but you know what? We have common ancestors. I've known this woman for a couple of years. Not that that means, but they're a decent person. We can work with anyone that wants to work with us, but we definitely need to learn how to work amongst the willing few of us that want to. And it's about family, commerce, dignity, solidarity. We have to do that. We have to find ways to do that. And that's what we want to do. So, Chef, let me just say to people, if you like this video, share it, like it, share it. If you want to, and I haven't done this in a while, so, oh my God, I missed the donations, but that, as much as I like them, I haven't done this in a long time. I've been like a week. I'm going to try to get back to that. There's a lot going on. But I want to thank all of you for supporting Pat Talk and Chef C. I believe that now the weather's edging out. We're going to probably get together, Brother Quentin and I. I'm going to see if I can get Brother Negro and do other things. And my health is doing better, I believe. So we thank you for your support. If you like this, you can always send a donation via Cash App to Dr. Randy Short. If you want to Zelle me or PayPal me, it's wrandyshort@gmail.com. We're going to also, around this Patriarch Summit thing, I think we're going to get some GoFundMe's up, Chef. I'm going to put one up and start looking at how we move this. And I believe we're going to have a group here in DC. And there are other things that can come from it. And so, by the way, again, I'm Dr. Randy Short at Cash App, DrRandyShort. My PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail.com, as is my Zelle, wrandyshort@gmail.com. This is the Angry Black Men's Book Club. And I want to let people know, yeah, now and then I use an expletive, but I believe in God. I'm going to continue for my fellowship. Yeah, we're Christian. I am, at least. My fellowship is called SALT. It's called Salvation. It means Salvation Liberation Temple. And we're going to continue talking from a biblical standpoint about the Boule and Diddy as we continue. So we're probably going to drop that about 2:30. So because Sabbath, the real day that the Afro-Asiatic Hebrews recognized God, was on Sabbath, which is Saturday. Sunday is for the racist Romans who gave us white Jesus, although y'all respect white Jesus more than the black one that we have today. So I'm going to stop there. Chef, it's up to you.
Well, listen, again, as he mentioned, we will begin to roll out the Patriarch Summit and some of our smaller occasions. I want everybody to be aware that they're going to be between the tri-state area all the way out to DC. We have a couple other places that we will be bringing on board, so definitely y'all be on the lookout for the information coming in the next 2 weeks. Let you know how you can get involved, how you can contribute, and where we're going to be holding these different events. And listen, ultimately, it is not just one of those situations where you're going to be gathering and a whole bunch of niggas be talking some shit. No. There's going to be value here. Real
we'll
tangible.
be talking about health, business, family, resources, whatever we can figure out to make certain that it's of value. I don't like to waste people's time. And again, if you're interested, my email is wrandyshort@gmail.com. We want to begin to get a list of people that support patriarchy. And patriarchy does not mean mistreating women. It means protecting, dignifying manhood, childhood, and womanhood. Men leading in strategic cooperative partnership with women and with the generations to come. Again, we abhor violence and abuse of women. I think rapists and men that abuse women should be hung. That's just my gut feeling. I hate it completely. At the same time, I think a woman that falsely accuses a man should be thrown in jail for at least 10 years. At least. I believe the laws need to be more fair for fathers. I believe that a man that puts his hand on a woman, unless she's thrown the first punch, and even if he's done that, a real man knows how to get the hell away from a crazy woman. We want things right. I don't want a situation like The Color Purple. I hate the movie. I have family like the characters in The Color Purple movie. I get the point, but all of us aren't like that. I hate abuse of women. I hate sex trafficking. I hate rape, exploitation, and pedophilia. We all want to shut that down. At the same point, we hate feminism. It's going to go in our lifetime. If you're down for a fight to destroy toxic pork chop feminism and this baby killing culture that they have, then you found the right people. We're down for a fight for the soul of our people.
That's a
Any
fact.
more?
You know what? And I gotta say, this is a gentleman. You will have value. We are looking for the fathers, the sons, the uncles, and the nephews. Okay.
And they can bring young people, but they have to have a legal guard and a chaperone. We hate pedophilia. We're going to fight you predators. There'll be a day where folks who prey on children and all, if you do something, you'll run to the police station before we find you. A day will come when the pedophiles will be punished. The molestation, abuse, and this garbage that's out of control, we're going to smash it. Who's with me?
Absolutely. And you know what? Before we even go a little bit further, Brother Lone Wolf Juan J. Johnson has just checked in to the community kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Lone Wolf. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's the word, Brother Juan J. Johnson?
Greetings first to all the brothers, the panel, Chef, Dr. Short. Let's talk. Just all those are listening. It's good to be here, Chef. I finally had that. Finally got that root canal today.
Oh, okay, understood. So that howl was more like a instead of a.
It was more like a earth. But I just wanted to come on board and just back up and support the brothers is what we're trying to do.
And we're recruiting you. We're going to have Pat Talk has our own munitions and weapons expert. Everybody that works with us is going to have access to someone to show them how to protect themselves and their family. A real patriarch loves so much, he knows how to take someone threatening a family out of here.
Yeah, I think, Dr. Short, that has been the missing ingredient for decades. We've been on a consistent diet of domestication of Black males, emasculation, castration, and I can put it all at the feet of the preachers. I mean, they're so crazy, they're so weak that even Jesus told them, I'm about to leave you guys, and I need you guys to get a purse, a script, and get you a sword. They rarely talk about that scripture, the sword. But it's a new day. And I'm encouraging everybody on the sound of my voice to get you a sword, which is a 21st century Glock, Smith & Wesson, 38 Special, assault rifle, shotgun, and thousands of ammunition. because we just can't keep having these conversations, these beatings and greetings, and we're retreating. It's time to advance the cause. Again, you know, history, as Malcolm said, it history is best reported to those who do research, and we did the research, and the results are in. We got too many weak males out here.
Come on.
So I'm pushing this thing. I'm pushing this gun piece because at the end of the day, if I can get you to have a basic understanding of the firearm, how to defend yourself, how to defend your family, how to defend your friends, how to defend your community, how to defend your city, and possibly defend this nation, because when they come, because they gonna come, they're not gonna ask you, are you with us? They're gonna say, there's one.
Come on.
So again, I salute you, Dr. Short, and all the brothers on board and the sisters that I know what time it is, and I'm looking forward to training and directing you to folks who can even teach you better than me. But I just want to just give you an intro. I want to get you with your palates.
And we've got trainers on both coasts, East and West Coast.
That's true. So
we have trainers on both coasts. And not just that, we've got people that do farming and growing. We are looking to network and bring people together to do the practical.
Mm-hmm.
We're even looking at everything from working with people to learn about what's called it's called health sharing, where ways to get access to at least some degree of medical care that is less than what people might otherwise get. Secondary, we're looking at practical ways that we can help people, as well as networking folks. And the hope is ultimately to form a network where we have a doctor, a lawyer, a CPA, and we have these by communities that you could find people. And when you have a problem, you can pick up a phone.
And a firearm instructor too.
Firearm instructors, we have all of it. And if you're spiritual, we can make certain that you don't have nigger preachers that just want to steal your money.
Come on.
We're looking at creating collectives of people that can work together around practical solutions. If a person wants to establish a business or wants to find a way to get a grant or needs to get a tax done or learn how to do taxes or want to do this, we're trying to figure out how to bring a collective of people together that do what everybody else has done. The greatest crime of our traitor Black elite, and you cannot blame white people, it's traitor Black people that have allowed us to be like this.
Come on.
They don't want to compete with their own. The same way the bigoted people don't want to compete with us. 1 in 6 Blacks is doing very well in this country. They're hoarding all the wealth that the government gives to them. They demand in the name of all of us, and they only share with themselves.
Come on.
They have deliberately done everything they could to make the rest of us poor. So they collude with the supremacists. The biggest problem isn't the supremacists. The biggest problem is the traitors within our ranks.
Come on.
Some traitors are male, some are female, some are old, some are young, many are boomers. Our criminals are subversive traitors. We have to create a culture of self-protection, self-respect, and self-preservation, and we deal with subversives, whether they're white collar or no collar. It must happen.
That's a fact, Brother Short. And I'm gonna tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, just be on the lookout for that. We have one tentative. We were hoping to shoot for July, but this one is going to probably be moved to August. But there's going to be one that's on a smaller scale prior to that. So be on the lookout. Me and Brother Dr. Short.
We're going to try to do it in June.
We'll let you guys know. So.
We want to do it we're going to make Juneteenth. we're gonna do something with it.
So
let me let you guys go. I know you gotta go, Chef.
indeed, but hold on, brother Dr. Short. I need to touch on this piece real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. This Indianapolis mom. I'm gonna read off of this real quickly here, especially now that we got the wolf in the building. This murderous meth head. The murderous meth head. I don't think there could be a better word for her. But
she looks like Dick Van Dyke trying to be a black woman.
So check this out. This article is coming from Fox 11, ladies and gentlemen. Indianapolis woman was allowed to walk out of jail after admitting she was high on drugs when she smothered her baby to death. Dorcia Lacey was charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in the death of the 2-month-old daughter, Alona Lacey. Lacey was arrested months after her daughter died in August 2022. On Wednesday, a judge ruled, this past Wednesday, y'all, so a judge ruled the mother was not guilty of alleged crime. Local media reported on Judge Mark Stoner's explanation for the decision. Okay, Mark Stoner delivered a verdict about 3 p.m. in the bench trial of Dorcia Live. The mother is charged with causing the death of her 2-month-old daughter. The prosecution says she smothered her baby. The defense says this was a SUDI. Here we go with the bullshit. Okay, not guilty though. The judge verdict was not guilty of neglect of the dependent resulting in death for the of the 2-month-old daughter. Judge says she had been guilty of involuntary manslaughter, but that is not what she was charged with. Okay, let's go on down. Not everything that's a mistake or everything that is wrong is criminal. The judge says, according to W, something has to be done with criminal intent, criminal responsibility, and that's what the defendant is charged with. When the state chooses to charge an individual, they must prove they did something with criminal intent. Poor parenting, by definition, is not criminal. That is treasonous. Anyhow,
is that a black male judge?
It can't be, sir. I'm looking for the judge. I'm trying to bring his pick up, but that's Stoner. That's got to be a white guy. But nonetheless,
what he's really saying is, sisters, kill those black bastards.
Yeah, get them out of there. Get them out of there. Do the work that we got you out there for. Don't worry.
She's a freedom fighter killing black babies.
Fucking crazy. But let's keep on going. During Lacey's bench trial. Hello?
Yeah, brother Chef. Can I say something? You know what this case reminds me of? Remember Natasha Harlan, or wherever that white woman that killed her kids and got away?
Right.
This seems like Lysandras emphysema.
Latasha Harlins was the person that was murdered. Are you talking about that white woman down in Texas named Yates that drowned her 5?
Yates. Yates.
Get the names right. Get the names right. Okay.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about.
So
and they let her go. She killed 5 children. She acted like she was crazy and called one baby Jonah, and she was just drowning him. But you have to understand that women killing children is not a harshly punished crime. The image of a child killer is a man, but most of the people that kill children are women. People act like women can't kill. I have a pussy. I wouldn't hurt anybody. Bullshit. There are a lot of people with pussies that hurt people. Just because pussy feels good doesn't mean that the person with the pussy is good.
Come on. Well, let's keep on going here, brother. During Lacey's bench trial, a child abuse detective with the Indianapolis police detective testified that Lacey admitted to smothering her baby. Admitted to it. Let's keep on going.
Yeah, right. I killed that bastard.
Right. Come on.
You know why? You know what? She's, bitch, I'm not buying you no infant formula. I need another rock. And the baby said, nah, nah, nah.
Meth head
she,
talk.
now
But let's
she
keep on
choked that
going.
baby out. Shit, I'm gonna get a rock. I mean, you know what? I need some Enfamil too, and my push is gonna give me mine. And it's not in the can, and
Mm,
and I'm you're not gonna stop me, bitch. I'll choke you out.
mm,
They kill a child just as sure as they would drink a Diet Coke.
mm.
Is it a black male child? That's what I want to know.
No, it's a
Because you
black
had
female
Cynthia
child.
G.
It's
You had
but you know
Cynthia.
what? But if she hated the father, it doesn't matter the sex. Although they'll kill boys more than girls, they'll kill the girl if the father liked her.
Mm. Come on, and that's a
Okay,
fact.
so
That's a
so
fact.
there's a
Just to get
whole
their
bunch
lick.
of,
Yep.
but again, we have to stop, and this has to stop in black culture. Think if you have a vagina, you're a good person.
Come on, come on.
You may have a good vagina, but you're not a good person. Just because you're greasy doesn't mean you're easy.
Mm, come on. Listen, according to WTHR, the lead detective on the case said she was actually sitting in my lap crying on my shoulder and had said that she did her baby wrong and said that she had smothered her baby. Basically,
Mhm.
she said that she was high and she
No,
was tired and Alonely had been crying. Ultimately, she ended up picking up Alonely and facing her toward the crease in the couch. So if you have the back of the couch and then the seating area, she placed her face toward the crease.
she wasn't high. She was conscious of what she was doing. The high is the alibi. She's
There
a
you go.
murderer. She's a cold-blooded baby killer.
And let me keep
And
on going.
there are a
Let me keep
lot of
on going.
them. Go ahead, keep going.
A toxicology report proved Lacey was high on methamphetamine the day Alani died. The baby's cause of death was undetermined, according to an autopsy report. Court documents filed in Marion County indicated the court also terminated 4 no contact orders that were filed against Lacey. So this brings in our brother Lone Wolf, you know. Uh bullshit investigation. Okay, and not even an investigation. It's just a pure cover up. This is one other black looking baby out the way. That's one less little nigga child we got to worry about. That's the energy I'm getting from here, brother. What are you hearing from this, brother Lone Wolf? Because that's what I'm getting.
So from the legal perspective,
Yes,
there's
sir.
two type of intents. You got general intent and you got specific intent. And it all determines on what the attorneys, the charging documents of the attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see the charging documents. What are they charging with? Because again, from how you described it, what you read, it's coming on like a manslaughter, meaning somebody who wasn't in their right state of mind because they're under some type of influence, whether it's drugs, alcohol, and the crime was committed. Because even let me say this thing right. Again, I need to find out what was the charging document. What did they charge her with? Because if the prosecutor don't bring the right charging documents, then your case is done.
Right.
If they went for the murder piece in lieu of the manslaughter piece, because if murder's on the table, not manslaughter, you got to prove murder. Normally, the murders are very, very specific.
Hmm.
Like a manslaughter is very general. You know, a person get into a car, they leave a club, they drunk and they have an accident, and somebody gets killed. That's not specific. That's general.
Okay.
You know, so from the legal aspect of it, I can see possibly why they did what they did. But she got to live with that because again, This is probably not the first time she's been in that situation.
It's probably not the first baby she killed.
Yeah.
You know, these people kill, and killing children is okay. In fact, they probably were able to sell the organs out of that baby. That's probably the deal. Well, if you sign over organs, the judge will go light on you. Yes, they do stuff like that. Oh, yeah, they do.
Hey, Brother Lone Wolf.
Yes, sir.
The issue that I when I did some research on the article on this case, and because of how it's done with that charging document, and even the judge said it in his decision, she was charged with manslaughter. She actually should have been charged with involuntary manslaughter with diminished capacity because she was under the influence when she committed this crime.
So they believe.
Now the prosecutor.
Hold it. She used drugs that day, but they can't prove the exact time she was high in that day when the baby was killed.
Yeah, the prosecutor messed this case up.
She probably got high to celebrate after she killed the baby.
And with those prior incidences, it really would have been a slam dunk case for involuntary manslaughter. But because the prosecutor, and this is what they do, they overcharged her with manslaughter, knowing that manslaughter and murder is very strict and it's a very fine line. Knowing that the judge is there to, it's a 3-day, it was a trial by judge. So based on the evidence and the charge, it did not fit the criteria for that specific charge. And that comes from the prosecutor being inept.
Yeah.
If the prosecutor was smart before they even got the indictment, what they would have done and what they do to a lot of us when we get in these situations is they overcharge us.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like what they did with the Freddie Gray thing in Baltimore.
Exactly.
The little high yellow black prosecutor get the police off for killing.
And they do that, Dr. Short, and everybody in the chat and everybody on the panel. It's a tactic that prosecutors use where it's a statement. You can indict a ham sandwich. They know you'll get an indictment, but they ain't really trying to get a conviction.
Was the prosecutor a black woman?
That I don't know offhand. Because they didn't make a statement, Dr. Short. They didn't make a statement after she was found not guilty.
Okay, then maybe it was a pork chop feminist that wanted to show solidarity with baby killing. You guys need to understand. I'm going to say this out here. Do you know there are a lot of women that think that because they see being a mother as giving them the right to give life or to kill, they have a right to kill babies because they bore them, as if the child is chattel or property. These same women complain about men seeing women as property, but these women themselves, where they have power, see children as property, and that they have the right to kill that child because it's theirs. It's interesting, all this preaching about how men are and patriarchy and how men don't do this and men don't, the women are no damn different. It's a human thing. It's a right and wrong thing. It's a power thing. And these women feel they have the right to kill. They have the right to kill the baby in their womb. They have the right to kill the baby afterwards. And let us just remember, there was a big movement right up in New York for even after a baby is born, if the mother wants the baby killed, they will kill the baby for the mother. They were fighting to do. All the women say kill the baby, even if the father can't say anything. And they are playing on the way that they've gotten women to cheapen the value of life of children. And what these ladies don't realize is once you destroy the whole concept of women being folks who bear and bring children into the world, and once you make it seem as if men can have babies and women can have babies, then you take away the sense that women need to be protected. And therefore you open women up to getting the worst treatment from men that prey on women who typically, to some degree, women have been protected from men by men. You give women all these immunities and things that seem like freedoms, and you open it up for the men that hate women to ride terror and hell on women. And the women are cutting their own throats with this stupid Luciferian feminism.
Well, you know what? Listen, man, I definitely deemed it necessary to touch on this. I mean, I'm just not hearing enough outrage from the sisterhood about this
You're
one.
not, because women have the right to kill children. I don't want to have his effing baby. Baby, it's my life. It's, as a woman told me, a baby was like an ingrown toenail or like a polyp, or like a cancer. And I will just say this to you, and ladies, I don't care how you take it. There's something really wrong with American women that they have to see a baby on an ultrasound to believe it's real. You're vomiting and you've got this big thing, and a woman's still thinking about killing a baby, and then when they see the baby in the ultrasound, oh, it's a baby. Have you ever talked to people about abortion clinics and the women, after they've had the abortion, the baby comes out, oh, it's a baby. And I'm thinking, damn, what did you think it was? A hamster? What do you think that was? A bowel movement or a beer belly? There's been such a disconnect between sex and procreation until these women don't really think it's a child unless they see it moving around, which is why in a lot of places they don't want to have ultrasound machines, because if women see the baby, they may not want to kill it. So you try to tell the women that it's not a baby. That's why they use the term fetus. And fetus is Latin for baby. And abort means to kill. Abort a fetus means kill a baby. But it's abortion doesn't mean killing. And a fetus isn't a baby. And all of us, and why don't you respect women? And they start making a thing about women and respect and the life of the mother. When Black women die in childbirth disproportionately all over the country, no one gives a damn. They kill Black women trying to have babies, but when it comes to, oh, we want to save the life of the mother, in reality, they want to kill the child. Let's just do it. In particular, killing Black babies has always been a big thing in this country, going all the way back to the Constitutional Convention, where they agreed we didn't want this country to be too Black, that they would stop importing people from Africa in 1808. That's been 216 years. They've not wanted there to be too many Black people in this country. And it's been 108 years since Margaret Sanger started the American Birth Control League. And it has been 84 years since she started the Negro Project to wipe out Black people, with the support of Black Greek letter organizations, Black churches, and others, to kill off Black people as human weeds. There is an agreement between the successful elite Black people and the killing of Black children.
Well, listen, sir, really quickly, gentlemen, I got one last clip and then we're going to get ready to get up out of here. But you know what? It's interesting you say you bring up Margaret Sanger, sir. And, they got a female that's running around here by the name of a Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, what about Kamala Harris, the abortion queen? She can't do shit at the border, but she's out everywhere pushing baby killing.
These are all Emily List graduates right there that you're speaking of. These are all Emily List women.
Well, check this out, gentlemen. Let's play the clip. This is the Planned Parenthood Gala. So yeah, let's check it out.
We need to create communities where women can receive sexual and reproductive health care with the love, respect, and compassion that they deserve. I promise to continue to do my part and use my platform to break down barriers and empower women all around the world.
So yeah, this is her receiving an award
They
from.
always give deviant black women awards. It's funny. Black women must think that they're the ugliest creatures ever invented, that they have to constantly do debased and debauched, stupid things to get attention. That's a sad ass place to be. If you wonder why certain black men prefer women in other groups, sisters, there are a lot of sick black women that don't have any dignity, no integrity. They're so starved for attention and affirmation, need to be praised and worshiped all the time. And there's never enough because in reality, they feel ugly no matter how much weave they use, no matter how big the eyelashes, no matter how big the butt lift, no matter how much people worship and tell them how great, it never makes them feel good because deep down inside, they feel like they're black, ugly, and unwanted. And I'm going to tell you, the only thing that brings contentment is a relationship with God. And for all of these liars that say women are more spiritual because they can be more emotional when in their place called a church, it's crap. Because those same religious women are screwing all the men in prison, all the gangsters, making babies more wicked than themselves and the fathers. Right. To me, if there was some holiness among women, there'd be outrage to all the babies being killed. In particular, Black American women should be in the forefront speaking out against eugenics and the sterilization and the destruction. They sterilized Black women in prison. There was no advocacy whatsoever from any of the Black women organizations in the country. There was no advocacy around protecting pregnant women in prison having children. It did not come from Black women's organizations. Black women's organizations exist to help kill Black people and to help selfish, elitist society bitches be the center of attention while they do nothing for the people. That's what they exist for. Tell the hoes to prove me wrong. Show me a school district where Black kids learn. Show me an area where there's prenatal care equitably distributed to Black women. Show me where there's success in fighting drug abuse and addiction. Show me all these goddamn loudmouth Black women organizations, and not a goddamn bit of change in the last 60 years. Says it's about people showing up in galas, you little nasty society bitches. They go to a big rich white motel, and all the money is spent lavished on each other. They're not helping the poor Black women. They're not fighting for increased wages for Black women in the low-paying jobs or health access. They're out there trying to grab for themselves. It's a goddamn disgrace. Remember when Maxine Waters was confronted by Black homeless people and she told them to go home when they didn't have homes? But you know what? These illegals that have come to California, Maxine Waters and them have helped find housing for the illegals. This is what Black women organizations only push: the destruction of Black poor and marginal people and the aggrandizement of Black celebrities and elites. It does nothing for the grassroots Black women. It does nothing. Black women are raped in prisons all over this country. Black women are disproportionately raped in the armed services. Have you seen one of those bitches in the Congressional Black Caucus do something about it? No, they're not going to. Because I'll tell you something. Women are never the leaders of a people. Men are. Black women imagine themselves to have dicks and to be leaders. It's delusional. It's the psychopathy of Black feminism, and it's killing us.
Facts.
Gentlemen, on that note, we're going to be closing it down. So I'm going to go to
close it down,
Negro.
brother. I'm tired.
Brother Negro Knight, you got the floor, brother. Let them know about your platform some of the initiatives you got going. You got the floor, Brother Negro, if you're there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to say thank you, Dr. Randall Short. Thank you, Brother Chef, as always, and the other brothers here. The Negro Black Knights Heritage Club, we're working on several different projects. One of them is that Degenerate show, Bad Times. Yeah, we're definitely going to go forward and put a lawsuit against them.
It should
We
be
have the
called
paperwork.
Times.
Yes, that treacherous treasonous show, built by tethers. You guys are going to be called out, man. Like, you guys cannot be tainting the image of our people and our legacy and not be unmatched or unchallenged. You know, that's just the reality of these creations that people create to make a mockery of our people. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on. School-wise, honor society and investigation. So like, definitely, I would love to compare notes. And one of the things that, when you brought up that thing, I looked at it from a fraud perspective. This is what I mean by from the judge perspective, how he was operating in a fraudulent manner. And what I mean is that when you look at the fraud triangle, there is 3 aspects that you can look at. One is called the opportunity, motive, and the rationale. What was the rationale of letting that woman go? What was his motive? And what was the opportunity? Those are the things that we need to be looking at, some of these criminals that are perpetuating genocide on our people, and have the Nuremberg trials with the Negro editions. I definitely want to put them on the stick because they definitely are needed for perpetuating genocide against our people. Thank you, Brother Chef, for bringing it to our attention. Salute as always.
Chef, I want to mention one thing. I've been invited to be a speaker for
Brother Chef, his mic went out. Dr. Short, your mic went out because it went low. Just heads up.
Yeah, my mic went off. Can y'all hear me?
They're playing with your mic, big brother.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hello.
We can hear you, Dr. Short.
Okay, let me just say this because the question was asked by Stanley Harris. I've been asked if I am going to be at the June 15th rally for reparations being thrown by Brother Tariq Nasheed. I've been invited to speak. I anticipate being there. I hope I get to talk longer than I did last time. I didn't get to say as much. So I hope this time I get to be unfiltered and say what needs to be said. So thus far, I am willing to go. I will confirm this week with Tariq Nasheed about me being there. I am on the flyer. He talked to me. I said I was open. I will officially confirm, and I'm going to have a GoFundMe because I want to have a Pat Talk event on the 15th of June. We want to make certain that alongside reparations is the repair of the Black family, Black manhood, Black womanhood, Black familyhood. So I will be there. Please support. Look forward to seeing me promote my GoFundMe, which will be used in part for me to one, push all the activities. So thank you. That's it, Chef. I know we've got to go.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? My mic would see my they playing with me now. Okay.
We can hear you, Chef C.
Okay, yeah, they playing. They have my shit muted too. I don't know what the hell is going on. But Brother Wolf, You got the floor. Let them know about your platform, how to get a hold of you, etc. Anything that you got coming down the pipeline.
You can always go to Longwood Farms Training for videos. You can go to lwftraining.com. It's lwftraining.com. Again, my message is this: God, guns. The two have not been combined because they want to keep us focused on God, but never on protecting ourselves. And we can talk about all the issues we want, but if you ain't ready to protect yourself and your family, your friends, or your neighborhood, or your community, you're going to still be in this consistent cycle of just going around in circles. My goal is to change that. Again, you want some training, lwftraining.com. That's lwftraining.com. And some spiritual guidance. As the chef would say, the ordained one.
That's right. That's right.
Again, bless you all. Enjoy the program. And looking forward to the next Pat Talk.
Absolutely. Appreciate the brother Longwood Firearms, ladies and gentlemen. Now, and final, I have my brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Brother Q, let them know how to get a hold of you. Any new projects you got going, anything that you got going right now.
Hey, I could be reached at ltalk5600@gmail.com. Oh, we got some good stuff on the horizon. I don't even want to spoil it.
Yes, sir.
I have somebody who I know for a very long time. She is actually has a great organization, and they have been trying to get people to understand what's going on with Cop City down in Atlanta, and what they're trying to do with that, and what their intention really is with Cop City. Plus, I'll have Sister Azima back, so it's a bunch of good things. I'm trying to be at the reparations rally as well on the 15th, and I'm encouraging people. And this is my point of view when I say what I'm about to say. I'm encouraging everyone who believe in lineage-based reparations to try to attend all the stuff that's going on this summer. It's very, very important that people understand that reparations is bigger than personalities. And we need to be there to support, engage, network with each other, because we're coming up on another election cycle. And then we continue to not be able to push the needle further this time around than last time around. So where are we going in the future? And we need to really understand what's going on and why it's imperative. But with that, glad Pat Talk 18 has been great. Glad everybody that joined us. Remember to continue to like, share, subscribe, and understand to hit the notification bell, because they are suppressing the channels. Even though we kind of like all went through a reboot the last week or so, they're still suppressing content. All of us do lives, and they don't get the notifications when none of us do lives. We're subscribed to each other, so I know for a fact they're suppressing channels, because I don't get no notifications from these brothers. Not within the next 10 minutes after they do their stuff. We're talking about I might get it 3 days later. So understand what's going on. Make sure you guys hit that bell to get all the notifications. And if you don't like what the content is, you don't have to watch it. But we appreciate your continued support. And trust me, we don't look at anybody as a follower. You guys are supporters of our channels. Indeed. And we appreciate that.
And that's a fact. Salute to our brother Q from Let's Talk 2. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to cop your Black American Heritage flag Converses, a limited edition, definitely go over to FromTheSoil.tv.
Chef C, you got muffled the last 10, 15 seconds.
Can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, go over to FromTheSoil.tv. You want to cop your Converse's Black American Heritage Flag limited edition. You can do so. FromTheSoil.tv. Put on section, get yours, ladies and gentlemen. Very fly. And also, if you want to get those aprons, Black American Heritage Flag apron, you can cop that as well. FromTheSoil.tv. Put on, get you a pair. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to keep it locked. I have a giveaway, okay, that's going to be coming up. So keep your eyes posted for the next live broadcast. I have something I want to give away, and especially for those who are on the grassroots level, you're really going to like this. You're really going to like it. So, and it ain't cheap at all, but I'm giving it away because I think it can be used in some really fly ways. But nevertheless, I want to thank everybody for tapping in with us here today, ladies and gentlemen. This was Pat Talk number 18, and we appreciate your continued contributions. I want to send a thank you to those who have hit the Cash App. Brother Ro hit the Cash App. Brother Dave hit the Cash App. And my sister Keisha hit the Cash App as well tonight. So salute to y'all who hit the Cash App with the $5 contributions all the way through. That's 15. That'll probably keep the lights on in the community kitchen for another couple days. If you're catching the playback, don't hesitate to support the channel, $ FTS49, or hit a Venmo at From the Soil. You can go ahead and support the program. I appreciate everybody tapping in with us today. Make sure you subscribe to all the panelists, and we look forward to seeing y'all down the road. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, in a system of white degeneracy, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. My name is Chef C, and I'm out.